Welcome, everyone, to FMK Anime. I am your host, Meep, joined by my two co-hosts, Makan, and a new addition to the table, Limus. Say hello.
Hello, I'd just like to start off by apologizing. I'm sorry. I had to kill Dalaran and drink all of his blood, and to absorb all of his power and stuff. So yeah, everything's going to be streamed through me because of that. Don't worry, it was for the greater good.
Yeah. He contacted me about it. Trust me, it's fine. It was a proper ancient Viking blood ritual.
And I'm just here. He showed up at my door with a knife saying he's the new host, so...
Dalaran's spirit will not be in pain as it is completely obliterated.
Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Just know I'm here for at least the summer.
Yeah, entirely. But where can they find you two?
Well, you can't find me, but you could try it, that_Viking on Twitter. I recently posted a shit ton of possums and other shit that I find cute and or funny. If you're into my wild and sporadic shit posting, go ahead, come on over.
You can find me around the place either as Limus646, Channel 646, all my shit. It's in a link below called Rest of My Stuff to My Card. Go there. I do YouTube, I do Twitter, I do a bunch of shit.
And you can find me in your mother's bedroom, but when I'm not in there, I'm on Twitter at Soul_King777. But if you are a minor, don't follow me or else I will ground you, as I am now your stepdad. And this is FMK Anime, where each season we get a list of 10 anime together, and we watch them. And at the end of the week, we can cut at least one anime. This week, we had 10 shows. I will read out now. Well, we had 8 shows, but we have a list of 10 shows. The 10 shows we have are... I almost read out the spring shows. The 10 shows we have are My Lock, Aquatope of White Sand. The next show is Makan's Lock. Makan, would you like to say what your lock is?
Sure. Let me just have the title. My lock is Itaran Deities in the Peaceful Generation. It seems like it's going to be a fun shonen ride. It's going to take a while for us to get there, though, because anime release schedules.
And my lock is the case study of Vanitas, because... it seems to be like a steampunky type deal with vampires animated by bones. Like, come on, like that's an obvious lock.
Come on, let's get serious.
And one of our random shows are Peach Boy Riverside, The Detective is Already Dead, Remake Our Life, Girlfriend, The Duke of Death and His Maid, Dungeon of Black Company, and Sunny Boy. However, alas, Aitaden Deities and Sunny Boy will not have episodes out for at least a week or two. So, we have the other 8 shows to talk about, and let's just jump right into it with Aquatope of White Sand, Episode 1. Fuka is a dropout idol and travels to Onikawa to avoid her family. She wanders around lost until a tourist agent tells her about a nice aquarium nearby. Fuka goes there and is enraptured by its beauty and meets the director, Misakino Kukuru. This episode was really pretty, and I liked the stuff involving Fuka.
All I have to say is, you missed out on the weird dehydration hallucination she had when she came to the aquarium.
Yeah. I was like, alright, so are they implying aquariums are fucking magical? Not in like, wow, what a magical experience. Not like LSD magic.
I think it was supposed to be metaphorical, but yeah.
I mean, it's either metaphorical, they pumped drugs into her at some point, the fucking travel agent lady had drugs in the water, or it's just a dehydration hallucination. Either or, really. I guess it's important to her because of how wildly she reacted to it.
Actually, there is definite merit to the whole magical thing because you see the fucking deity that the manager was praying to, like munching on some heads.
I've been calling him Mr. Hawaii.
Yeah, I dug most of this episode.
The episode was really the art style is fantastic. The visual shots and their attention to detail is great. Water looks fucking beautiful in this anime, but it's kind of to be expected about an anime about an aquarium.
Yeah.
I also want to say it's great that we got a nod to the greatest anime of all time, Super Cub, as she jumped on her Super Cub and rode away.
Damn it.
The blue-haired girl.
You gremlin.
I did actually write about it. Should we be watching Super Cub yet again? When she did that.
No advertisements on my channel. Maybe Dallas, but not here.
What do you mean? We're advertising for aquariums here.
I mean, that I'm fine with. But, like, I don't, like, for Honda, no.
But as much as this show was lighthearted and, like, funny and stuff in this first episode, it was really melancholy and kind of heart-wrenching to see why and how she quit being an idol. How hard she worked and how much she gave up.
Oh, I literally went, oh, my heart, when she, like, started thinking about it, and it was like, I identify with her a bit. Like, I haven't seen a whole lot of her yet, but I like what I've seen of her so far. So far I am enjoying her.
Yeah, no, I like her because, like I said, it's relatable. It's probably going to hit close to a lot of people. It's about finding your purpose in life, and that's a daunting fucking task to find because, looking at it objectively, there is no purpose to life. We're just here to exist and at some point die. But it is what you make out of it, and she's having trouble finding what she wants to make out of it, and, well, I think we've all been there, because it's a common thing to worry about. Some people have an easier time of finding it, some don't.
Yeah, and her family essentially celebrating and happy that she failed her dream definitely doesn't help.
Yeah, celebrating her coming home, and their celebration is basically having her just, serve them as a servant. It's... I can see what she decided just not to come home, and then she messages her mom like, yeah, I'm staying over at a friend's place, I'll call you when I'm coming home, and then just turns off her fucking phone.
Oof, I've done that before. I relate to not wanting to be at home.
I don't. I've had a good family life, but a lot of people don't. It's the fucking unfortunate thing of it. And yeah, of course, sometimes I haven't want to go home because you go into arguments and stuff. But though, yeah. I mean, she's older than an adult. It's not a childish thing of, I'm having fun, I don't want to go home. It's just the troubles of everything. Goddamn,
Yeah.
there's no way I could explain it, because I've never been in anything close to her situation, I think.
Yeah.
It's definitely a form of depression she's feeling that just gets compounded by essentially being told that her dream was a waste of time by both her family and her own head demons.
Yeah. Also, her fucking producers at the Idol Company also just talking shit about her behind her back and then meeting her with a smile when she's actually talking to them. It's always disgusting to see how two-faced people are. And I'm not going to say I'm above that. People talk around behind people's back. It's a natural thing. It's harder to say something to someone's face than to, vent about it to someone else. It's always difficult. But it doesn't make it right.
Yeah. What about you, Lewis? How do you feel about this?
Well, I sure do think that the show is pretty. I definitely have a thing for aquariums, and seeing it like animated so pretty, it's like, it's lovely. I like it. Also, the fucking manager lady is just like, that is just my type. Okay.
I mean, Kukuru is just a fucking... It's just a fucking aqua tomboy, being great and super fucking dense. Holy shit, is she dense? Yeah, just like, fish and fish. Yeah, show me later. It's a date. No, it's not like that. There's a guy behind her looking super disappointed. It's like, come the fuck on.
Yeah, like, I fucking loved that scene.
It was great.
Yeah, like I see everyone you guys talking about definitely resonating with this more. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought would happen because like I was watching it and I'm just like, well, that's rough, buddy. And it's like I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's something for me.
That's fair enough. Just hit him with a, that's rough, buddy. Get over it.
That's something I always find happening when I like anything slice of life is I don't know, I just lack the ability to care.
That's
It's
fair.
like,
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm
There's
not
this
gonna.
block. There's this dumb block in my brain that stops me from full on getting like emotionally invested in pretty much anything, and like
I mean,
that's super apparent in slice of life things.
yeah. I mean, I have that block to a certain extent as well. But when it comes to enjoying a show, I'd make an effort to try and just lift that block and try to look into what it is. It's the only tip I can give you to try and like get into it. It's just to try and feel more instead of trying to block it off because it's a natural response to things of trying to keep your distance so you don't get emotionally affected. But then again, if you don't, what's the point of watching shows?
Exactly. Like, yeah, absolutely.
But I can't say I don't have like. But a show usually needs to do something for me to, stop feeling for it. And at the start of it, it's quite easy to get me feel for it because I like to give things the benefit of the doubt. And this show made me. I don't know. There's a lot of melancholy feelings I got from this. Not as heavy as Super Cub. I know that's a fucking meme, but that show fucking hit me hard. But it's also it's hard to describe, but finding what you want to do and taking the leap of hardship and uncertainty to do that thing is fucking hard, but it's rewarding, and seeing someone do that is satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the show did a good job of making just odd background characters feel real. Like the psychic she was talking to, like they just got into a conversation about. Yeah, no, her husband cheated on her.
I forgot about her. I love the psychic lady. She's just like, I'm gonna swindle this lady. And then she's like, how are you?
Fuck it,
and
I
then
need
just
to
her
vent.
like, yeah, how are you? No one's ever asked me that. And then just keeps her there for like 2 hours, just talking about her issues.
Like, husband cheated on me. My kids hate me.
I'm like, aw, but you seem so sweet.
Yeah, I feel bad for her.
I mean, I gotta say, I did have one major problem with the show, and that's the fact that the episode doesn't end properly. Because the ending is an after fucking credits scene. Like, the whole purpose of the show is going to be this lady, like, basically reinvigorating her life by working at this aquarium. But her asking for the job at this aquarium is saved for after the credits. That is stupid and that is bad structure. This is an important scene that is saved for after the credits have rolled. Where she goes, I want to work here. I need a job here. You're understaffed. Let me help.
Well, she doesn't say let me work here. She says let me stay here. Then jumps and you see the penguin dive into the pool. I think the actual her getting hired is going to happen next episode.
Yeah, but still, that's an important turning point.
I mean,
and that's a better bookend for the episode than just the nebulous, it's over that the this first episode gets.
I want to look it up again because I don't remember that being the case, but yes, it happened after the ending credit, like the ending ED. But at the same time, it's ending with like the blue-haired girl introducing herself to the other character. Kind of is a fitting ending as long as they get into what the fuck is happening next episode without the ending sequence being a thing. Because most people see the ED start playing and they go, all right, show's over, drop the, and then just close the fucking tab or whatever.
Which I think is appropriate. You're at the end. This is the end credits. The show is over. Anything else is just optional. I think that's how I see end credits. Like, you watch Iron Man, and if you want to watch to the end, you'll learn that, hey, the Avengers thing is going to happen later.
Yeah, I think, like, the way I always think should be, like, everything important should be taken, like, before the ending credits roll. end of credits roll, and then like say like ReZero did it. Afterwards, they can have a little skit thing where they go into more of how the characters interact with each other and have some comedy, but that isn't important to the story. That's kind of how it should be done.
Kind of like the Jujutsu Strolls.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the Jujutsu Strolls. They're kind of animated in a more chibi way as well. It's kind of the exact same concept.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess I'm just numb to end credits. Like ever since Fullmetal Alchemist, I've just been numb to them.
Yeah, just annoyed by them most of the time. But I do want to say, like, her going, like, let me stay here. I'm like, alright, this bitch is kind of nuts, was my first thought. Because that makes it more sound like, I want to live in your aquarium. Let me sleep with the penguins. I'm like,
Flashback to that thread that Meeb found was like, I think that girl's gonna fuck the penguin.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, the thread. Crunchyroll has this listed as a romance, so this is probably gonna be a really good Yuri. And then someone below it says it's gonna be Zoophilia if she fucks the penguin. It's like, what?
It's like the two main girls now, they're just friends. The true love story is between this lady and her penguin.
Penguin dying.
Are we ready for cards, or is there anything you two have to say?
No, I think I am quite talked out what I wanted to say about the show.
Yeah, I don't know.
It wasn't a lot of talking points, a lot of things to go over. What was generally just feel good and a lot of landscape shots and a lot of reading the inner monologue of the characters as they deal with their internal struggles. It's good fucking viewing experience, but it's hard to talk about it. Like,
yeah. I'm gonna fuck this episode. I enjoyed my experience with it. It's pretty solid for me so far. Like I didn't tear up, but I felt like it hurt seeing Fuka like struggling and having that like moment where she's like, but it's too late for my dream, and just seeing how everyone treated her, and it's like, no, poor baby, no. And honestly, the only part of the show I'm uncertain on so far is, will I like the blue-haired girl? I'm curious what they're gonna do with her. And yeah, I'm gonna give this show the fuck.
Head empty, only squid.
Alright. Yeah, I'm also fucking the show because I don't know. It hasn't done too much to win me over yet, but I'm also interested to see more because it hasn't, done anything to lose me either. It has some interesting points, and I did feel some melancholy, but that feeling can't carry a show, and it's going to quickly wash away if that's all they try to do with it. So I hope they get some more carrying points and continue better, but as for now, it's very beautiful, and I'm enjoying my show time with it so far.
As for me, like, I wasn't too terribly sold in this episode alone. Like, yeah, like I said, I hard bounce off of slice of life stuff often. However, because of how nice it looks and how much I actually did enjoy, like, looking at the visuals and stuff, I don't think I could bring myself to kill it. Like, I'm at least gonna give it at least one more episode, and I'm gonna fuck it.
Alrighty, that is a trifecta for Aquatope of White Sand. Let's move on to our next show, The Case Study of Vanitas, Episode 1. Noe, a vampire with silver hair, travels to Paris on an airship, where a female vampire is corrupted and attacks him. A mysterious doctor appears and, using the bookie Vanitas, cures the woman. After a daring escape, he reveals that he is the human Vanitas and requests Noe's help.
I have to start off by saying one thing that I'm probably going to gush about this show for the whole series. The composer who did this soundtrack of the show is Yuki Kadra, the same composer who did Madoka Magica, one of my favorite shows of all time. And this soundtrack is very Madoka Magica, and I fucking adore it.
Soundtrack bops. Like, I loved the opening and ending songs. Oh yeah, we can also talk about the opening and endings for this one. Aquatope didn't have it, but opening. I really like the opening. Opening visuals, opening song, they were both solid. I thought it was really nice just seeing the slice of life stuff.
Yeah, the opening was a very cute little story in itself, and the music was Music score's really nice, but it's not the kind of shit I'd watch, like, listen to outside of the anime, but, like, I don't think I'm gonna skip that opening anytime watching it.
Oh yeah, it's just
As
so
for the
good.
opening, I just enjoy that it's, like, not knowing anything about these two characters, I'm like, so this looks like them going on a very eventful date.
Yeah.
And we now know Vanitas is just head empty dumbass.
Oh, he is so fucking stupid. I'm like, what?
Yes.
Like 4 minutes into this, I'm like, my fucking opinion, my fucking first thought of seeing like the cover art and stuff was Blue Exorcist but vampires. I'm like, I was probably wrong. 4 minutes later, nope, this is Blue Exorcist but vampires.
Yeah.
I'm super into this show. This looks like it's gonna be an interesting ride.
Yeah, there's only one thing this episode did that I didn't like.
What is that?
The fucking shit that you see in so many other media where it's like, and by the end of this journey, I was the one that had to put an end to his life.
I mean, you're saying a lot of media does that. I wouldn't say so, because having that happen in this one, at least not from the media I've consumed, it's not a thing that happens much. That's a foreshadowing and a promise, and I'm unsure if that is going to be a promise that they make good on. If this guy simply fakes his own death, if he thinks he kills him, or if he does kill him, if that includes him turning him into a vampire, because vampires are kinda undead. It could mean so many fucking things with what the show is doing. I am interested to see what that statement holds.
Wait a minute. Is Vanitas not a vampire? I thought
Yeah,
he was a
no,
vampire.
like he said, I am but a human.
Yeah, he inherited the book. He inherited his name and the book from the original Vanitas.
Okay, because I thought it was like, because they're sort of setting up this whole thing where it seems like vampires have names like kind of like how demons would, where if you know a vampire's true name, you've got some sort of edge over them. And yeah, because
That's
he's not
exactly
actually called Vanitas. He's not actually the vampire Vanitas, unless he is, in which case.
I mean, like he explained, he probably met Vanitas at the end of Vanitas' life, and Vanitas entrusted him with both his name, the book, and his quest of, either destroying all the Red Moon vampires, or at least curing them from whatever is afflicting them, and making them like they are.
Mm-hmm.
I find it very interesting. Like, he's a human. Him being killed by this vampire's own hand has a lot of different meanings. Because he is head empty dumb, but he is also very fucking sneaky and conniving with how he handles himself. And I would not put it past him to just fucking fake his own death.
Yeah, it's just. I guess my brain just goes to other media where I've seen it happen, like Jujutsu Kaisen episode 3 did, where it was like, oh, and when the 3 first years went to here, one of them died. I'm like, no, don't, just...
One of them
it just
actually died, so it was all just a fucking nah.
well,
I mean, one of them died for a while.
yeah, like, that's... I just...
I mean, that's foreshadowing that puts us on edge, and until it is delivered on, we don't actually know when it's coming. It's the idea of knowing that there is some fucker around a corner with a bat, but you don't know which of these 10 corners it is. It fills you with... It's the reason why suspense in horror games is so good. You know that something is going to happen, you just don't know when.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this works out, because it seems like our main boy and Vanitas are probably gonna... We want to see how we get to that point, definitely. And they're both interesting enough characters where... Yeah, I'm willing to see whatever adventures they get into for the next 12 episodes.
Yeah, it's just... Like, I still really like this episode, and I'm still digging the show. It's just, that's one part about it that I'm not a fan of, and I'm excited to see next episode where it seems like they're going to sneak onto the airship to steal their luggage and Watson back.
I know it's not... It doesn't mean you dislike the show, but I just want to focus on it a lot because I'm the complete opposite. For me, that builds so much interest in the show for me, because that is not a thing of like, we're going to deliver on this in an episode. They might deliver on this in like 2 episodes, or they might do it at the end of the show, or not even in this season. We don't know what is happening, and that kind of fills me the thing of like slight distrust towards this character of like, he's gonna fucking kill this guy at some point, but for what?
Mhm.
I also have to say, God, all the boys in this show are so pretty.
I ain't game. Goddamn, I'd obliterate that ass. Real fucking
It's funny.
pretty. Like, everyone
I
is
thought-
pretty in this show. Goddamn.
This show is fucking pretty. I'm so down with it. And like, I don't think we're gonna get any weird like quality dips in it either. Like Bones usually, it's pretty damn good. Like,
I haven't seen the quality dips. They've only like lessened the quality for comedic effect. Like when the white-haired, kind of darker-skinned vampire boy throws the lady into the air, and he just goes, "Huh," and looks up.
oh, it's
Yeah,
just
like,
gonna be a bunch of. It's just gonna be these two dumbasses just bumbling their way through situations and ending up like sort of halfways looking cool and sticking the landing.
Yeah, I mean, the feeling I get from Vanitas is he's a fucking idiot, but he has style and he knows how to get shit done when it really matters.
Yes.
I'm surprised they didn't kill the girl. I thought the show was going to kill her off.
Yeah, but that also gives the motif of this. It's not just a thing of. Vanitas might have wanted him to kill vampires, but the original Vanitas then. But this guy might just care for life enough to try and find another way to try and spare people, to save them. And to me, it's more interesting to try and save someone instead of just outright killing them.
Yeah,
I just hope they have more in challenging situations of people who are unreasonable about it, and they might have to go to more drastic efforts.
Yeah.
that leads into a theory I had about this, about who the main villain might end up being. So we know that the original Vanitas wants to destroy all vampires. This Vanitas wants to save all vampires. I think that there might be some stuff going on, and the original Vanitas might be the one who's corrupting the vampires to make them go feral.
Ah.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know though. It seems like I kind of get the feeling that she was a recently turned vampire that's kind of been corrupted by something or another.
Yeah, she didn't seem like she had a good control over herself. Like, yeah, every time she walked past Noe, she was like, diablerie. Suck the vampire blood out of you.
Oh, also, the fucking animation when Vanitas pulled out the book was beautiful.
So I love the fucking like the God, what's it called? Like star sign electricity sparks and everything. It looks so fucking cool.
Yeah. This show just looks like it's just gonna be good. It's gonna I imagine it'd have to do a lot to fuck up so far.
Yeah, I do have to say as well. I love characters like Vanitas that are just fucking shouty, aggressive, but has a fucking heart of gold. Because kind of how I build myself. And just him being constantly like, he fucking attacked this dude with a knife trying to save this girl. But yeah, he was never trying to kill her. He tried to save her completely. That was his goal in the entire time. But another thing I'd say, pulling on to the last season we talked about, Marsh Red had the opening beginnings of a theatrical story. This also has a lot of theatrical elements, and I hope they can pull that a lot better, because they don't seem to be wanting to drop that. I think that is a cornerstone of the entire show.
Yeah, like I loved the music and the visuals played so well with each other. Like, especially that background shot we get when we first see they're in an airship is just gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Dude, the opening sort of like the myth of Vanitas being told, like that, the style there mixed with the Yuki Kadra music just was like, oh, this is so very Madoka Magica. I love it. I'm so in.
Yeah, I think I missed taking a screenshot of it because I was just entranced, but my favorite shot was just when they were falling out of the airship and that shot of the blue moon over the city of Paris, I guess?
Yes.
Fuck, that's a good shot.
Yeah, I really dig this show. And are we ready for cards?
There's one last thing I want to bring up, which is going to be important to me. I tend to be very particular when it comes to vampire stuff, and one thing I'm going to need at some point is set in stone rules of how these vampires work. There's so much mythology around vampires that I don't know. Are these the type of vampires that can't enter someone's house without permission? Like, does sunlight kill them outright, or does it only immobilize them for a day? Stakes through the heart. How does that work with them?
Well, we've already gotten some things of how they work. We've gotten that they have a true name, like devils and demons, in kind of more other types of fantasy media, like D&D. They have they are usually easily able to resist the urge to drink blood, which means they might not have to drink blood at all. There's some kind of infliction that corrupts them and their true name that causes them to go berserk and their urges to be uncontrollable. And if the opening is to be believed, they can walk in sunlight, which means that they're not affected by that either.
Unless Vanitas cures Noe, in which case, which I think might happen.
Well, I don't think he cured the girl of vampirism. I think he just uncorrupted her true name.
Okay,
Yeah.
I totally misinterpreted that because I thought he cured her of vampirism altogether.
We didn't see the signs of vampirism in her, but he was still referring to her name as it was like a title or some sort of powerful figure instead of just her actual name, because she has an actual name. So I think it's just restoring her true vampire name to what it should have been, to what her vampire lineage is fitting to her that doesn't corrupt her or something like that.
Yeah,
Because I don't think there's a cure for vampirism itself. I just think it's a cure for the infliction that vampires are affected by.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to make them human again. Like you said, he wants to save vampires from extinction, and if he removes the vampirism from everyone, well, they're gonna go extinct anyway.
Yeah, and her eyes remained red, if I'm remembering correctly, so...
I mean, their eyes, the white-haired boy's eyes are usually purple, and then they turn red when he's, using his vampirism powers, so I don't think that's an indication. We don't know yet. Maybe he did cure our vampirism. I don't know.
Yeah, but long story short, I am expecting some world building out of this, and I think they have a lot of interesting things to say about the vampires of this world at some point, because, you saw in the middle there when, Noe's, asking Vanitas about what he is. He keeps listing off, a number of what sounds to be either vampire positions or organizations and stuff, and yeah, I want to see more. I want to see more of this.
Yeah, no, I agree with the limits. I think they've solidly figured out what they want to do with the show, and I think they are, at least with this episode, proving that they can execute on what they want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But with that, if we're ready for cards, I shall lead us off. I am going to fuck this episode. I enjoyed what I saw. Studio Bones, once again, has not let me down. I'm excited to see where it goes from here. The vampires are interesting. The story itself is interesting. The show is just beautiful. I checked. This is the same team that did Skate the Infinity. Although that tipped me off when I saw how many chibi moments there were. I was like, okay, this is the Skate team.
There weren't that many. I think there were 2 or...
There were a few.
Yeah. I am also going to enthusiastically fuck the twink vampire boys. This show looks like it's going to be rad.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think it's any secret how fucking hard I've been waxing on it and thinking about what the little things they've been saying through the entire show might mean, and I love the gremlin energy of this boy who can take this shit seriously when needed. I want to see more. I'm fucking it. It's great.
Trifecta for a case study of Vanitas. Now,
trifecta of the season. No knives given.
Our next show is Peach Boy Riverside, Episode 1. Sally is an ex-princess who meets Frau, the demi-human rabbit. They go to a village where Frau solves racism by saying thank you. Then they are arrested and taken to a city where two ogres attack. Frau almost dies, but Sally's peach eye activates, making her a sadistic powerhouse.
Ah,
I
yes,
was
the
bored.
fruity version of the Sharingan.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was bored.
I was bored for quite a bit. The show starts very abruptly, just them instantly meeting. I'm like, how did we get here? Who the what? Huh?
Yeah, it was
And
weird to start. Weird place to start.
very weird, and just them being instantly endeared to each other. Like, no, I'll just fucking go against humans. I care so much for the issues and problems of the demi-human, like suppression and everything. You've known her for like half a day. What are you on about?
Carrot debt, man. Carrot debt's for life.
No, I understand. I understand Frau's reaction, but why the fuck does Sally care? You barely know this thing.
I mean, just general empathy, maybe.
I mean, sure, but at the same time, like, she's acting like this is a thing that she's had a problem with for a long time, and she barely knew what the fuck a demi-human was. It's just odd.
At first, she seemed annoyed that Frau was coming along with her, but then suddenly she gets all uppity about it.
Like, the first thing was like, yeah, no, you come with me, you can't walk with the demi-human. It's just like, alright, we'll fucking leave then, and then just sneaking in and everything afterwards is just... I mean, the fucking, like, alright, I'll just leave then. This demi-human hasn't done anything bad to me. Like, that's good, but just afterwards is kind of...
Also, I think we cut out a large portion of this episode.
Where nothing happens?
No, I think
What?
when they made the episode,
Fucking-
I think they cut a lot of scenes. It's kind of disjointed.
Wait, like, no, I mean, like, the whole part where they get to the city. That's all in the first
where's
episode.
that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, no, when the ogre attacks and everything, yeah, but when she's put in jail and she's kind of like, yeah, no, just because I'm a demi-human, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that's the kind of the problem I had. Like, no one has that much devotion after knowing to someone and their plight after knowing them for a day, even if you have a lot of empathy. It feels forced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be like if she's a human and having grown up where demi-humans are readily hated, she would have either clearly had a knowledge of what a demi-human is in the beginning and had it made her opinion, or she would have at least gone, well, I mean, this one's friendly though, and it hasn't done anything bad. It even protected me. It's fine. Which, I mean, that's why I like the what was his name, Hawthorne, I think was his name.
Yeah. The captain dude.
Yeah, who has clearly experienced this, who knows people dislike demi-humans. He apparently doesn't seem to care much, as he seems to be a friendly guy and just makes his opinion on a case-to-case basis. But he's like, well, I saw her just, kill an ogre to protect you and then show her respect to the leader of that village. She clearly isn't bad. Am I right? Yeah, I'm alright. Fucking fist bump the rabbit. That was a great scene.
I love it.
And then the walrus attacks.
Yeah, and I do have to praise this show. Like, I might have disliked like the first three-fourths, but just the brutality of this town being attacked. Fucking the girl with the laser killed fucking probably 100 people. 2 kids, considering the fucking wooden swords that got obliterated in the laser.
Yeah.
The walrus just fucking openly punching people in half in a brutal fashion. I'm like, most shows would have censored that shit. Good job for not. If you're gonna make a show with a lot of death, show the fucking death.
Yeah, the scene with Sally in front of the laser and, like, seeing the kids. Okay, the kids are playing. Boom. Laser fire. She's, like, being like, oh, shock. Oh, look, all the wooden swords are broken. We know what it means. Moving on. It was really great, well-directed, really tight scene that tells you everything you need to know, and we're done. And we're done and we're out.
Yeah, no lingering. It was just, bam, that happened. Deal with it.
The action with the actual fighting against the ogre, I wasn't the biggest fan of.
No, but then again, it's... I chalked it up to just kind of being the first episode and then doing a lot of exposition to get us to know what the fuck is actually happening. But yeah, they should have probably done more to actually have the fight be more interesting and then kind of explain more stuff next episode and have us be confused for a bit, maybe.
Yeah.
I have weird opinions about this. Like, Can we all just talk about how fucking weird the random hentai scene that got slipped in here was?
Yeah! Why? Why?
I don't know. She just sees a squid. She sees a dead squid, and all of a sudden she has like flashbacks to like the hentai she starred in or something.
Yeah, the squid wasn't even dead. It was actually still alive and wriggling around that dude's hand.
Did
I
an
don't know
animator
what-
get bored, and did he have to get like keep busy for like a quick couple seconds? So he's like, "Fuck it, I'll draw
guess.
hentai."
I guess, and then their boss just walked in. I'm like, I like that. Put it in the show. Where?
It's so fucking stupid. It just comes out of nowhere, and I had to pause. I just did the hand thing where my hand just goes forward, and I'm like, what?
Just like reaches out, slaps the fucking spacebar. Just like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. It's like, I like Frau and how she fights and everything, and she's just not strong or doesn't have the right weaponry to actually deal damage to the Walrus Boy, but then, fucking Fruity Sharingan activating and just slapping his arm into dust. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
It
She's
doesn't.
obviously like magical of some kind.
I mean, sure, but couldn't you, like, do something more descriptive than just, I waved my arm and his arm fucking disappeared?
What interested me about that is how sadistic Sally looked. I have an enjoyment of characters who get really sadistic, so that did actually intrigue me a bit.
Yeah, no, it's clear that this power is somewhat malicious, probably given to people from birth, considering the story of the boy found in a peach floating down the river and all that, and there being more peaches and more people from those fruits. But like how her inner monologue, I feel hot, I feel sick, but it feels so good. It means that whatever this power is, clearly has a bloodlust.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also,
it's interesting. It conflicts so hard with this character and their good-hearted nature aside from it, because, like, would they ever be sadistic in any way to anyone? No. They fucking, like, the Oni that they know is an Oni, they're like, well, whatever, I'm still not gonna leave you here to just die. Oh, that's kind of jumping forward a bit, but, you know. Mm-hmm.
There's one thing about this show that, well, it's not at the fault of, like, anyone who's making it. The only people that are at fault are whoever's localizing it. For some fucking reason, Oni is translated to ogre. Whose big brain choice was that?
I mean, Limus, it's because Oni is kind of translated into ogre. The Oni demon is usually an ogre demon, which is kind of why that translation happens.
But even then, it's like, it seems so unnecessary. It's like, they're both, in my, at least what I think, I have two different perceptions of ogre and Oni. It just seems like completely unnecessary, especially in, like, okay, jumping ahead a little bit in episode 2, where this dude's doing, like, fucking dumbass, like, fucking, what's the show called? Naruto Jitsus or whatever, and calling them by, like, straight up untranslated names, and it's like, why don't you translate that, I guess? I don't know. Just translate everything. I don't care.
I can kind of go into this as someone who is bilingual. I'm trying to look up what the translation word to Swedish is from ogre. We don't have a word for what ogre means. We have one for the very specific thing that America calls an ogre, which is a fucking swamp monster. So it's basically a fucking, it's basically a Shrek is what it translates into. But
Translates into Shrek.
Basically, I mean, it basically means swamp troll in Sweden. Is the direct translation translated over again. But from what I get from ogre, it has so many different meanings, because it can mean an ogre as in some fucking troll lumbering monster. It can mean a fucking swamp troll. It can mean demons. It can mean... Ogre is kind of just any brutish monster. Ogreish is a descriptor, not a specific creature. And Oni are usually ogreish in nature. There are some Oni that aren't, but the Oni that people think of when they say Oni, well, I mean, I guess it would be yokai. So Oni is actually ogres, because that's what they are. Because they are ogreish monsters with horns who attack people and eat them, and are just wild, feral monsters. So the translation would be better if they just said Oni, but it kind of works.
Yeah, okay. Under that light, true. It's just like, I don't know. It just always seems so unnecessary to me. But
I just took it as this is the shonen enemy ogre show. They are ogres. Okay, it's the interchangeable like curses, ninjas.
Yeah, it's just the name they have for them. We could keep calling him Oni and just ignore what the translation said and just ogre. All right, Oni, and just translate that back.
Fucking call them Ogi. There we go. Middle ground found.
Call them Yogi Bear.
I mean, that walrus looking kind of cute. Not gonna lie.
I see. But before we go into episode 2, I don't have anything else I want to bring up about episode 1. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
Nope, I'm ready for the cards of episode 1.
Yeah, me too.
All right, then. You guys want to go first? Should I?
I can go first.
Alright.
I was largely bored up until Sally got super sadistic. That was enough to keep me wanting to continue to episode 2. I will fuck the first episode, but wasn't a great introduction.
Personally, me, when I was watching this, like, I absolutely agree with you guys. Like, the first half of this episode in the village and stuff is very slow and very boring. And I don't know, maybe it was the fact that this was one of the first shows I watched. Or something, I don't know. But, like, in my mind, I think this is gonna be dumb fun. I think I'm gonna keep watching this. I think I'm gonna fuck it. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like it's appealing to something that I want right now, which is just like some dumb fantasy show that's not an isekai that has at least a vaguely engaging story.
I agree with Dylan. We've lacked fantasy shows that aren't isekais for a long time. Like, that's the easy route of having a relatable character that from them being from our time and experience things like we would in that time. But for fuck's sake, can't we just have a good fantasy show nowadays? I know it's not a good one, but fucking hell, I loved Fairy Tail when I watched that back in the time, and that's just based in that world with people in that world. Fuck, why can't we make shit like that anymore?
Yeah, like, and that's what's gonna engage me. Like, yeah, I just want a solid. I just want a solid show that's gonna be like a little bit adventurous. It's gonna have probably interesting turns and decent characters, and that's what this is gonna be. It's gonna be decent brain food, and I'm in for it.
But the show starts very slow. I feel like two main characters we've gotten introduced in episode 1 are far too close, far too fucking quickly to make any fucking sense, in my opinion, when they don't know anything about the other one or their fucking species before this show from what they explained to us. And then they kind of pulled it back because I enjoy shows that don't shy away from the dark, gritty, and controversial topics of... Well, I mean, a lot of shows would censor violence. This show does not, and that I can only give it praise for. Because I am tired of shows just fucking doing pussy shit and babying us, even when they're R-rated. For fuck's sake, JoJo Part 3 censored every bloodshed. They even censored the fucking cigarettes. It's an R-rated fucking show.
His mouth is obscured by the shade, but not his eyes. What the fuck is happening?
Fuck off. But that's my issue, and why I love that they don't shy away from it. It's only a praise they get because other shows fuck it up. And her getting her fucking superpower and being sadistic about it, I enjoy what it might entail this power being and how it's some sort of a sinister force. We have seen it before. Like I said, it was the fucking fruity Sharingan. It's kind of just the Sharingan. But that's kind of... I don't think the power was shown in a very interesting way. She just waved her arm and a little flash of pink light and the arm was gone. Eh.
Really is just the equivalent of either Sukuna or the nine-tailed fox taking over, isn't it?
Sorry, I have a dark coughing fit. But I was gonna fuck the show originally, but after talking about it and thinking over all my problems I had with it, it just didn't do things properly enough for me to give it the fuck. Episode 1 gets the knife from me. It just did too much wrong, and if I was watching this alone, I'd probably had given up 10 minutes in and just gone, alright, I'll go watch something else.
Yeah. But that is a double fuck and a kill for Peach Boy Riverside, episode 1. Let's move on to...
I'm sorry, I was almost going to call that a double penetration, but I guess that's technically a triple penetration, but hey.
We call that the Eiffel Tower.
Peach Boy Riverside, episode 2. Sally finishes off Walrus Man while an unknown assailant destroys the other girl and her ogre power. Sally and Frau decide to fuck the police by breaking the ogre girl out of jail for some godforsaken reason, and as the captain leaves the city to chase them, another cannon wipes out the entire kingdom.
So why the fuck are there human settlements in this world?
Yeah, I mean, they apparently don't work, and they should probably be hiding in caves and shit.
Why the fuck did they break Ogre Girl out of jail? They had no reason to.
Why are you letting the child murderer free?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, Sally seems to be ditzy and weird in most of her things, and she seems to be kind-hearted to a fault. It's like, well, I mean, you can't do anything now, and you don't deserve to just go kill yourself, so I'm going to take you with me. I kind of understand it, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't like that. It's weird and dumb, and I would like you to kind of come back and kind of like Hawthorne to come back and like talk with him, like, all right, what'd you find out? Well, she doesn't have any powers anymore and everything. And he's like, well, she can't do anything. We'll just fucking, let's have her reatone by working with you or something. I've been much better. Instead of just like, we're breaking her out. Ha!
Why did
funny fucking moments? We're having a prison break. Don't forget, this person murdered hundreds.
Yep. I mean, I think you were about to ask why Hawthorne left them in there. Was that it?
No, I was gonna say, I don't understand why Hawthorne's like, even if she is the murderer, execution is too cruel. No, she killed hundreds. Like,
did he ever say that? I think he
did.
Didn't say that. Okay.
Our trio has all say, with the exception of Frau, because Frau doesn't speak. Everyone said it was like, maybe execution's a bit too extreme for this mass murderer, and it's like, fuck off.
I mean, I remember him saying like, well, probably execute her, but I don't remember that. But at the same time, I wouldn't say just execution is too extreme. I would say it's too cut and dry, because you should clearly do something else with a person who fucking murdered children, find out what the fuck they did it for.
And I mean, they're basically monsters, so why the fuck didn't they execute her to begin with? Like, yeah. I don't think anyone would have shown any remorse to the chicken monster in episode 1 or the walrus man, but it's just because she basically looks like a human. I guess we're gonna have to keep her along.
I mean, yeah, she has the big booba. Of course, people.
Yeah, I was gonna say she has the big titty.
Yeah, like it's just like she's either a lolly or she's big MILF lady. Okay, so she's gonna be the one who lives because she's human, basically.
Ah, yes, she tracks the underage and the pedophile.
Exactly. You get the MILF demographic, you get the lolly demographic. It's all kinds of fucked up.
And there is mysterious Oni man who killed other Oni and then wiped out city.
Fucking. I do have to go into what I enjoyed. I enjoyed the Peach Boy, as that's what it is because I had the peach eyes. In his fight and his general cockiness and attitude, and just how he's like, all right, I've proven that you're not a match for me. Kick the child, kill the child.
Yeah, that part was good.
It's great. I just fucking he should have probably killed her. He had no reason not to. She like, oh yeah, she's a kind-hearted person because she cares about nature, but like at the same time, yeah, she might care about nature, but she also murdered a bunch of people. In that sense, And I mean,
fucking like, would you consider an eco-terrorist that blows up a fucking like factory filled with hundreds of decent people a good person?
no, but at the same time, I guess this guy's judgment is also flawed because he doesn't care about human life. He just cares about killing demons and basically making his own judgment on if these demons are, worth keeping alive, but removing their power or just killing. And I guess it's just his own flawed judgment which makes that.
But you don't understand. The dog said, "No, you left her alive because she's like you were." It's fucking stupid.
Well, I mean, I'd say it's probably true because he doesn't care about human life, letting them get slaughtered when he could do something about it just to fight this girl instead. Because this guy is not good.
No, he's obviously going to be our antagonist for the series, I think.
I don't
Antagonist or anti-hero?
Because this is the guy that Sally's looking for, and...
Yeah, but at the same time, I think he's going to be more of an anti-hero, but at the same time, bringing up the comparison to Naruto, Sasuke's the person Naruto is looking for, and he's kind of an antagonist for a lot of it.
Yeah, it seems like we're going to get like a Vegeta or whoever else type situation. I don't know, I haven't watched those shows. So I could be very wrong.
Speaking about two things I liked about the show, Sally's heckin' fucking big titty milkers. She's fucking stacked. Holy shit.
Yeah, I remember when she was just woke up in the bed and I'm like, those are just unpractically large.
That is just... okay.
It's just like, holy fuck. Jesus.
I thought Peach was supposed to be referencing ass, but apparently referencing her tits.
I mean, she's kind of got everything, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
It's almost like she's designed by committee to be waifu.
I know. Sure, it's the stupidity of like breaking this girl to save people. But I think that might be Sally's naivety and flawed kind-heartedness of thinking, I can change them. I can make them a better person. It might be that, and I guess that might just be a part of her character flaw, but...
I hope that's the case. I hope that's the case, and I hope that they don't just, like, hand-wave away the mass atrocity that this character has. Because in the opening, she's obviously one of the main four.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I hope the fact that she killed kids, civilians, and probably hundreds of people. We only saw a few die, but, she blasted a laser through a city. That needs to come up again.
Yeah.
It can't go unexplained or unspoken about. Like, because if Hawthorne is traveling with him, because he's also one of the main four, how could he not have burning, scathing hatred for this woman? Because she does not feel remorse about what she did.
Yeah.
Because he might have been kind and forgiving and easygoing before, but he has watched the city he probably grew up in. He has his family in. He has people he loves in. Every friend he's ever fucking had. Every place he's ever known be reduced to ash in a place where nothing can ever grow again, with the last person who clearly had respect for him dying centimeters away from him as he was saved. That is some heavy fucking shit!
It's like, I want to be optimistic and say that they're going to go into that next episode, but I honestly don't believe that. I think they're going to hand-wave it away.
I think so too, and I hate it. I think he's still going to be the happy, easygoing, lucky guy, but the opening has him kind of portrayed more as an angry and jaded person. So I hope this actually has a fucking effect on him and it's not just wasted character building.
I think it will for an episode, then I think after an episode it's going to be completely resolved.
Yeah, no, unfortunately I think so too. I think the show has a lot of promise that might go very unfulfilled.
Yeah.
Because the feeling they give us is the generic show that just goes, oh, problems solved instantly. And it's not going to linger with them. They're not going to carry over. In 2 episodes or so, they're probably just going to drop that demi-humans are even oppressed, and no one's going to bat an eye at Frau.
Well, yeah, she solved 3.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why the people I understand why the people in the town would like her, and I like that the soldiers had respect for her because, like, well, she killed the fucking thing and just murdered us without breaking a sweat, or, at least fought it and kept it occupied while we evacuated people. They would be a hero. Like, some people might have their fucking prejudices, but at the same time, the fuck if they save your ass and everyone you ever loved, why the fuck wouldn't you fucking praise that?
Yeah.
Don't worry, Frau, you're one of the good filthy demi-humans.
Yeah, I have cautious optimism that the ending of this episode might bring good things. But that is a very cautious optimism.
Are we ready for cards?
Yeah, I am.
I was going to fuck this episode originally, but after talking about it and thinking, this show's done nothing but bore me and make me upset at points. I'm gonna kill this episode.
I want to like this show, like, desperately. I think it might be fun. Like, these cast of characters seems like they might be fun and interesting. It seems like we might get a lot of good things out of it. But the hand-wavy nature that it's sort of dealt with a lot of its subject matter and stuff so far, just it's like, I want to keep going. I want to see another episode of this, but, like, this was a bad episode. This is not good writing, and I do not expect it to, like, give anything good afterwards. So, I mean, like, I hope it gets another episode and it, like, either gets saved by the wheel or whatever, but, like, I gotta kill this. Like, this is bad. This is bad writing.
I do think this show has had a rocky fucking start, and I've been kind of tossing the knife from side to side, thinking, should I not? But as it stands, this thing has been doing a lot of things badly, but the brutality and the fact that it won't stray away from showing what other shows are too fucking cowardly to do is what redeems it a bit to me. And I would give it one more fucking episode before I throw it into the bin and making my final judgment if it's gonna fuck up or not. I'm hoping he just has a rocky fucking start, not knowing how to start off a show, and at least knows how to do a show do a show after introducing the characters and starting this ball rolling. I'm gonna fuck this episode, but it is not a happy fuck. It is such a unhappy not forced, but just, I don't want to do this, but I mean, if I don't, there's gonna be hell to pay, and fucking, I'd rather not deal with that, and I just want to see if this can fucking be something good, because it has some promise, but it keeps fucking up.
Has some promise, but it keeps fucking up. Sounds like my life. No.
Sounds like the end of Vivi's. Oh.
I will shank both of you. That is 2 kills and a fuck for Peach Boy Riverside, episode 2. Let's move on to The Detective is Already Dead, episode 1. Siesta and Kimi. Oh.
No, go. Continue, please.
Siesta and Kimi stop a plane from crashing due to the criminal organization Spes. She begs him to be her sidekick, and he declines until using her, he helps stop a rabbit from snorting coke at their school. However, 3 years later, she fucking dies.
I fucking hated this show. I hate this show so much. This is just awful. Every bad trope from anime that I hate has been condensed down into a single show for me, with the exception of actual pedophilia crimes. I hate the main character because she's a snotty fucking know-it-all that basically doesn't have a personality.
I mean, she's not the main character. She's a character in the prequel. She's fucking dead.
She's dead,
but still, on top of that, it's trying to build this fucking relationship between a bland wall and someone who I just despise. And the actual detective work she does isn't detective work. It's just she magically knows stuff, and also she's a magical girl who fights aliens.
The first, like, in the fucking plane fight, I'm like, can she teleport?
Basically, fuck it. Okay, guess this is not a detective show. Whatever. Okay, are we actually going to call it forward on any of the promise that the title has? Nah, she's not going to die this episode, but we're going to allude to it at the end of this hour-long slog. Next thing we know we're going to do, we're going to force this fucking relationship between the two by making them go to the culture fair. And look, they dressed up as fucking, like they're getting married. Don't you love them? No, I don't. I don't care about either of them. Did they actually solve the case that they were solving there? I don't know, because it cuts off at the end. We get no resolution.
Yeah, there was no fucking conclusion there. Just saw the rabbits run away and go like, alright, we jumped out the window after him. Bye.
Okay, wait, before I continue, I just need to say one good thing about it. I like Siesta's design. That's it. Sorry. Okay, I'm done. You guys go now.
I liked the scene with the gun. I liked that. I didn't hate this show. I didn't like it either. I felt relatively meh on it until the end when it revealed Siesta was dead. And I was like, oh, okay, that's an interesting... You got me to, not care about these characters, but you at least endeared me to them a little bit, and then dropped that. It's like, okay, I'm willing to give it... I'm like, okay, I'm willing to be on your wavelength for a little bit, but I can't disagree with what you say. It's not good, and the fact that this is the highest rated one on our list baffles me.
I can tell you what it is a bit, because people, a lot of people that watch anime watch them because they enjoy a lot of the tropes that are in anime, and the animation is fucking great. The art style looks, it's kind of generic compared to a lot of anime, but it looks good, and like the dynamic animation and fight scenes are some of the best I've ever fucking seen in anime. Like, did you see how good and fucking fluid it all was?
Yeah, it was a really good Sakuga, like, in the fight scene with her gun. But that doesn't change the fact...
dodging the earwax tentacles and everything, shit, damn.
Doesn't change the fact that I feel like I've been misled into a show that's doing everything except for what I wanted from it. And
because when they did the introduction of, like, I was forced onto this plane with a case, and like, does anyone have is there a detective? I'm like, is the entire show just going to be this plane ride and them solving a murder on here? I'd be so down.
Yeah.
And then no.
No, she's just a magical girl. She's just a magical girl. Why is she a detective? I don't know, because she's super smart. That's it.
She's Sherlock Holmes, but has no reason for knowing the things she knows.
Oh yeah, and of course we gotta name our side character Watson, because Sherlock Holmes is the only detective story that exists. Can we get something? Can we get something that fucking name drops Columbo? Like, just anything else, please.
To all of our wonderful viewers watching, if you want a good detective show, Yukoku no Moriarty. It treats both Mori and Sherlock as main characters, and they're fucking fantastic, and the show is amazing. If you want a good detective show, watch that. This ain't it. This isn't going to be a detective show.
It might be once the magical girl is out of the picture, but I feel like that fucking magical girl spirit alters the entire thing.
From the technically three episodes we've seen, there's a case. They solve the case because, and then profit ? Because episode 2 follows that structure too, and the first two and the two parts of this episode follow that. They solve the plane case and then have a fight. They solve the rabbit case because the rabbit's like snorting coke, I guess.
But they don't do any solving. Like Siesta says, she already knows everything by the time she gets in the plane because she's fucking magical. She just knows everything. There's no mystery for like the audience to unpack with her. She just knows, and she's just gonna be better. And I think that's awful. It's why I fucking can't stand shows like Doctor Who or anything, because it's just like, we exist here, and now this character just knows everything. Can you actually comprehend how? Nah, fuck it, because lazy writing.
Yeah, I agree, but at the same time, how I would see the show being better is if they just didn't do the fucking like dress up as a fucking groom and a bride thing, and do that instead of just finishing the fucking case they were working on there, catch the rabbit and try to figure out that, because you don't need to have like we've known each other for like a week, let's dress up like a fucking married couple to show us that they might actually build a relationship at some point. Have a 3-year skip of them having, done work together, and that can imply a lot of shit. Like, I don't need you to explain why, because people can fall in love when they are close to each other for 3 years. That's just common human biology!
It's just like, we need to... This character is going to die by the end of this first episode arc, and in order for the rest of our show to work, we need to have a rapport between these two characters. Thing is, main character basically is a brick wall, and yeah, we're on a time crunch where we both have to tell a mystery story and also get them connected. So what do? We throw them into this culture festival and have them fuck around doing nothing for a bit, despite the fact that they're in the middle of a chase.
Yeah, in the middle of a chase, they waste like fucking 30 minutes and then somehow find him again. Yeah, bullshit. There's not much I enjoyed this thing about the show in retrospective. Watching it, I didn't have much fault, but there's not much wow, I really enjoyed this. It was kind of just... But getting to what I enjoyed about it was in... fuck it, we might as well just clump both episodes into one, right?
Okay.
Or should we do something on the second one?
If we're going to, we should probably do cards first, just because...
Yeah, let's finish off this episode and get our cards.
Well, first episode... Fuck, what did the first episode end with? Was that just like... it's been 3 years since she died or whatever.
Yeah, it's been... The detective is already dead. That's when it ends.
Okay. So with that, I like that it implies that their relationship might have been more, but at the same time, I don't think it was. I think it was just always friendship. But at the same time, it kind of leaves us with nothing to go on, and the character that was built up a lot is just no longer in the story, except for vague mentions and probably flashbacks later on. I'll hold up my card for the first episode then, if we don't have any more to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I usually find out what I actually think about the show when I discuss it with discuss the episode here. And first I was like, I mean, I'll fuck it. And now I talked about it, it's just no, it's not what the show fucking advertised. It's a magical girl bullshit, and just she knows everything, and it's just like, how do you know this? A good girl makes her fucking does her homework.
Yeah, I realized I came on a little bit strong there, and it would I absolutely can tell how it would easily sway people there, because that was a rant I was holding on for a week now. I needed to get that out. I hate this show.
Definitely, because this show didn't grab me in any way, because I was just sitting there like, okay, where does this show want to go? Because I don't look up a lot about them and just simply, watch the show and make my opinion whatever I see instead of reading the synopsis or thinking of what it might be before. And I'm just sitting here like, where's this show going? It's like a detective thing, and then just this, and like, all right, it's going to be like a battle thing with like weird superpowers and what? Because there's already some sort of fucking supernatural shit about the main guy just getting into trouble, but that just might just be unfortunate bullshit and not magical in any way. But it's weird and kind of dumb. And in the end of it, I'm just going to have to say I kill it, because actually looking into it and thinking about it, like, no, what the fuck was the point of it anyway?
Yeah, and my opinions are well known. Like, this is such an enthusiastic kill. Please, like, I dreaded having to watch a second episode of this fucking trash.
This show is not good, but its end, and I didn't hate watching it. It's just, I was more indifferent when watching it, and the end gave me enough to go like, okay, I'm interested to see what happens. I'm going to give this first episode a fuck, but it's not oh yeah, I like this. It's I want to see episode 2 before I make an official judgment. So, Yeah, that's 2 kills and a fuck. Where the detective is already dead. Episode 2. Let's move on to the detective is already dead. Episode. Wait,
Yeah,
sorry,
episode
that
2.
was 2 kills. There was two
Yeah,
kills and a fuck for episode 1, and now we're moving on to episode 2.
that's it.
Siesta is dead, and Kimi meets a girl who requests he finds a person they call X. Using a police officer friend, they speak with Earman, who reveals the girl Nagisa was given Siesta's heart through a transplant. At the end of the episode, a new girl makes a request to Kimi, and what the fuck is this heart shit? It's so fucking stupid!
I guess that it was going to be
it's-
Siesta's heart, like, as soon as we got into what this
Yeah.
episode's mystery was going to
Basically,
be.
yeah.
Because
It
there's
was
only
the-
one other character that we know, and she's the best, and she's the one painted on the front of the box, so of course she's going to come back in some way.
I mean, I was hoping it wasn't going to be that, because it'd have been so much more interesting if he was actually figuring out someone else and it wasn't her heart, and this girl was just actually seeking trouble, because this guy spent 3 years doing it. Detective, with quotation marks, works, and did a lot of fucking cases all over the world, and he might have been a sidekick, but a sidekick is still a detective. They're just an assistant detective. He is a legendary detective at this point.
I
Even if he was a fucking sidekick.
I would have forgived the whole first episode if they led on that it was just going to be him for the rest of the episode trying to put together like what he learned from before and like try to become the next Siesta. And if instead of having the one shot, okay, this person just is all knowing and knows everything, like actually do give us like interesting mysteries and stuff that this dude has to follow and figure out and stuff, and also have these really cool, nice fight scenes. Like, that would have brought me back in. But then the Siesta heart thing happened, and like this new girl has the heart of Siesta, so she's not actually dead. She's just living inside the body of another girl now, so
It's not to that extent, and I actually want to bring this up. That's part of unexplained science. This shit can happen with heart transplants and other organ transplants, is that the person starts liking stuff they didn't like, that the person they got to transplant from liked, and stuff like that are unexplainable. They might think of things they've never experienced and stuff like that. This is a thing that actually happens with transplantation of organs into people. And there's no way of explaining it other than, I guess it's just fucking a weird sentimental thing that the person subconsciously is thankful for their life being saved. But that is not unheard of, that stuff like this can happen, and having that be a draw of a show that already has fucking, parasitic earwax androids and stuff, not too big of a stretch, but it would have been far more interesting if it wasn't Siesta and he simply figured out who it was, and proving he is a capable detective on his own, and moving onward to become the next detective who is famed from being the assistant to Siesta. But now that she's dead, he has to deal with living up to those expectations alone.
exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
It would have made the show so much better, but they didn't.
Like, the moment she's like, "Oh, I'm looking for X," I'm like, "Oh, it was 3 years. It was 3 years. No, it was a year ago." I'm like, "Oh my fucking god! Okay, it's Siesta's heart. I know where this is going." There's this whole shtick of her being all buddy and lovey with him, holding his chest in her head because it's Siesta. I'm not the type of girl who'd do that. No, shut the fuck up. Yes, you are. You just don't want people to think you're promiscuous.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Forgot my train of thought, but it's just the point of unnecessarily linking it together. This supernatural thing happens, but at the same time, yeah, it could have been her heart or whatever, sure, but the show could still be good because it's not her spirits that are in there and still influencing her. It's just kind of some emotional mood swings, and this girl kind of moving away and dealing with her, living her own life, like Kimi suggested she do. I'm like, well, you have her heart, sure, but you still have your own life to live. Don't let me fucking bring you down.
Yeah. I just have to say one more thing about this episode. This thing confused the hell out of me in like a weird but good kind of light. There are things about this episode that I actually kind of liked. like when okay, besides the fact that like that prison being awfully constructed, if the fact that this dude's earwax blade can actually get through the bars and like reach almost her heart is bad design and shouldn't have happened in the first place.
It could reach her heart. It's just that it was stopped by I fucking shot you with a bullet of my blood, so you can't raise a hand against me.
Which I actually thought was kind of cool. It was a callback to a setup that was done in a previous episode in order to show off the twist. I thought that was done somewhat well. And even then, the emotional scene afterwards that Main dude had with the girl about being siesta and basically talking to her one last time, basically, almost. I thought that was a well done and directed scene. And I'm not sure how much of that was me being emotionally manipulated by the music and a decent voice acting. Or whether or not I was actually caring. I don't think I was actually caring. I think I was getting manipulated.
Well,
By
I mean,
the way, I
if
thought
you're...
it was a decent scene, like, at least.
It's not being manipulated if you care about what you've seen from a show or someone's heartfelt acting. Because good voice acting and music sets the tone of getting into their mindset. If you want to talk on those lengths, any storytelling that makes you feel anything, anger or otherwise, anger, happiness, sadness, or whatever, is just manipulation with flashy lights, good voices, and good music. Yeah. It's kind of a disingenuous way of referring to it emotionally affecting you, because it is being manipulated by it is you being emotionally affected by it, because all storytelling is not real. You know that at some point in your brain, but what they do and how they present it kind of bypasses that and lets you experience it like it was real. Because it was an entire episode build-up thing. You can see this guy clearly struggling with her death. He's gone depressive. He doesn't care about much anymore. He's just going through the motions. Like the other guy mentioned, your dead fish eyes, and yeah, I've understood that when I had no direction in my life and I look myself in the mirror. I'm like, wow, that's a vacant, dead stare meeting me.
Okay, but yeah,
and him being confronted and him just like, no, don't fucking do this to me. I've made progress to move on. And then just the dam breaking and him reminiscing of all the 3 years he spent, and the highlights and the moments he loved spending with this woman. Mm-hmm. It's great voice acting work. It's good writing on that part, at least. And it is phenomenally well done. I can give the show that.
Okay, what I was trying to mean when I said I feel manipulated by this show is the fact that I am being made to care about two characters I actively hated watching. So I'm feeling these emotions, and I know that this is completely disingenuous because I don't give a shit about these people, because they didn't put in the time. Like, if I saw any more of them and maybe they grew on me, this scene wouldn't have felt less disingenuous.
I mean, you don't manipulate it for starting to care about someone. Like, think about the people you care about in real life when you met them. Did you give a shit about them then? Or did that come as your relationship progressed and you learned more about them?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I can think of Sorry.
It's a natural progression when you know more about someone and you connect more to them and feel for their struggles. You are going to start caring more.
Yeah,
it's
but I don't. The thing is, I actively dislike these characters. And I know a couple people in real life that I actively don't like. And if they died, I wouldn't give less of a shit. If they were crying, I wouldn't fucking care. Which is why this feels disingenuous to me.
Right. That, like, sure, if they were dead all of a sudden, I mean, sure, you might not bat an eye. If they were crying without context, you wouldn't bat an eye. But if you knew why they were crying or what led to their death and what might be involved with that and what they had to deal with, you would probably feel something.
The topic of questioning my empathy apparently is a common theme. Is going to be a theme of this season. This is going to be fun.
It's just I have to bring back to that because every show is manipulative in how they make you feel, but
yeah,
it's technically not as well because we are watching these characters and living in their shoes, and to some extent, we are being affected by this because whatever experience we watch or play or take in from media is going to affect us moving forward in our lives. It's how it is.
Yeah.
I just just felt dead inside during that scene because I was just hit by the sheer fucking absurdity of everything. Just being like, this is dumb. This show isn't being what I thought it was going to be at all, and just I will say objectively that scene is just well done, but my mood was so soured at that point to where I didn't enjoy it.
Welcome to my feelings on Vivi, episode 3 to 13.
I will shank you in the back of a closet.
It's why what you described is exactly how I feel from that show. I'm not even fucking memeing on it.
Ready to hold up cards yet? I want to stop talking about this piece of shit.
I don't think we have anything more to say about it.
I'm going to shank this coal in the back of the closet. Knife.
As much as I did like that ending, as much as it did make me obviously feel something at that point, even if the rest of what I felt, well, I technically did feel something through this whole show, and it was hatred, but I felt something decent at the end that obviously the author wanted me to feel. Despite that, I still can't help but to think, man, if this show was about a murder on a plane where the detective that almost halfway cracked the case suddenly died and it's left to, like, everyone else on the plane to figure it out, I'm just thinking, like, that's amazing, that's incredible, that's such a good idea, and that's not what we're getting.
If it was left to Kimi and his inexperience at that point to take over, fuck, that'd be great!
Someone make that show, or unless it already exists, like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is, like, some kind of book or movie that's already been released or something. I want to see this. I want to see this. I don't want to see this bullshit.
It's called Snakes on a Plane.
Yes.
I though have to kind of be the contrary on your guys' heated opinions of the show. I did a lot of things wrong. It did a lot of missteps that it could have done better by not focusing too hard on Siesta after the first episode. They should have just started moving away from her and simply have the main character deal with her. Bring her back in flashbacks for all I care. Show us some of the scenes that he talked about, he mentioned in his emotional, heartfelt goodbye to her as a person. And just move on with her being out of the picture. I at least hope that's what they're going to be able to do, but, I'm not too hopeful, but I want to give it another shot. So I'm fucking this episode.
Yeah, I'm still on with the knife, so that's a double knife and a fuck.
That's 2 knives and a fuck, for the detective is already dead, meaning we will at least have a wheel.
We will have a wheel with both of them on it.
Yeah, and is it break time?
I think it's break time, yeah.
We're back from our break, and we are going to go with Remake Our Life, Episode 1. Kyoya is a 28-year-old man recently fired from his job. He finds himself working at a game company after mistaking a developer for a suicide jumper, but after the company is disbanded, he finds himself back in time and goes into art school with 3 dorm mates. Meets the girl who hired him in the future, and learns one of his dorm mates is the artist he has idolized. This show is a bit better than I was expecting, if I'm being honest.
Actually, same. I did not expect myself liking this.
I have conflicting opinions. I hated that the show that this was an episode long. This episode was an hour long. I felt like it dragged the hell on, and like I saw the twist with the artist that he idolizes being the one that he woke up next to. Like, I called that immediately.
Yeah, no, I think everyone called that.
I didn't actually. It was a surprise to me when it happened. I thought the game developer woman, like the guy who hired him in the future, would have been.
No, because then he would probably have figured that out while working with her. It's my thought process.
Yeah.
I like how this guy isn't just a shut-in pervert who looks at like hentai things all the time. It seems like he actually enjoys it for the art and not just a pornography aspect.
He's not even into eroge and stuff like that. He likes art. He likes games. He likes just general entertainment media all around. He got stuck working on like porn games because that's the only job he could land. but Jen, the only feeling from I guess from this guy is he is hardworking as fuck, and he is willing to devote every second of his time to whatever goal he is striving for, whatever dream he has. It just he was too scared to take that leap as a teenager. Which I mean, when you get the option of like what career do you want to do with the rest of your life, and where do you want to what do you want to spend your time studying, you get to make that option way too early in life. There's no way you're gonna know what the fuck you'll enjoy.
Yeah, and I like the joke when he wakes up, he's like, wait a minute, where have I seen this before? Oh right, it was the opening to one of the games I worked on. Just closes his eyes again. Just
It's just like
Yeah, 'cause
one
he
of my
wasn't-
Japanese animes.
Yeah, because he wasn't horny on this. It's like, oh yeah, I worked on this. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute, you're drinking my yogurt.
The yogurt, the greatest screen cap I think we have for this entire series. Drink yogurt.
And they also did a funny subversion where, like, the yogurt landed on her chest, and I thought there was going to be a whole scene where they walked in and went, wait a minute, no, I swear I wasn't doing that. And she's going to turn around, and they're going to be like, wait a minute, what's that on her chest? But at the very least, they don't show that. They just show...
Yeah, they just have the aftermath of like, yeah, you covered in, you gave her the old milky splash, eh? That's what the guy said.
Yeah.
The fucking face the other girl made just looking towards the blue-haired girl, just smiling, like, big old smile. She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Okay. I need to open up with one of my complaints about this show. Outside of the main, the redhead, and the blue-haired girl, these two chuckle fucks in the sidelines seem like they're gonna grate on my nerves. Like, it's a tsundere, alright, and she's gonna be just the stereotypical tsundere from start to finish, huh?
I didn't really get that feeling yet, but I mean, I haven't seen much of it. I kind of got more of a tomboy vibe from her.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I think she's fucking upset of like, we've lived here for a year and he's already fucking the first girl that walked in here.
Yes. I just fucking bounced so hard from that. Oops, it looks like we're doing weird sex stuff. Oops, type humor. I just think it's annoying and dumb, and I don't like it.
Oh, that's okay and joking because it's two guys. No, I'm just bugging you.
It worked out quite well in this show. It's done better than it is in a lot of other shows, in my opinion. And most of them, I end up just rolling my eyes and just like, can it please be fucking over so I can go back to the show? But in this show, I think it kind of established a bit of how strange this girl is in her perspective, how the world works.
I think I forgive it a bit more because that doesn't make it their only character traits. Because after that one scene, they aren't like constantly fighting. They're not going, oh, you're a pervert, slap. Like, they're not constantly doing it to the main character. It doesn't feel super mean-spirited. If anything, that girl fucking hates the lazy guy more.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, that's just a fucking misunderstanding that got cleared up because they talked to both of them and the blue girl's like, no, my bed wasn't here yet, so I just decided to crash in his room. Because like it's from her words and his words, and I mean, they're the two people there, and they both say it didn't happen. I mean, you can still think they're lying if you want to, but you know,
even if they're both consenting adults. So,
well, I mean, if they are, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like her character trait is going to be I yell at people for what I think they're doing instead of what they're actually doing, and I have caution.
I mean,
but she seems like she's going to be more of a side character anyway.
Yeah, I hope that she is more than just that, and hopefully not at all that. But if she is, fuck that bitch. But I do hope she's probably just going to be a side character. And if not, I mean, I hope she's a better character than what we've seen so far. The sleepy guy, though, I just generally like him. I think he's kind of like, he like has some lighthearted, kind of slightly mean-spirited ribbing, and then just fucking sleeps, wakes up, and is like, this answer, correct. All right, good night. Because that's kind of how I made my way through school. I kind of just winged it, and it worked out somehow.
I
Yeah.
do have to say that this show in particular right now for me has been like, I think one of the edges it has against me, because I thought most of it was generally boring anyway, but it has one edge that's kind of keeping me engaged, and that's the setting of being this art college and sort of film school thingy. And yeah, currently I'm taking courses on video production and film, and of course it's all online and stuff, but seeing these like actual spaces where like people get to work with like industry standard equipment and like, you know, like actually get hands-on experience like that is making me super jealous. And a part of me is just thinking, maybe I want to keep watching this show just to live vicariously through this.
I mean, hell, if the show handles it properly, you might learn something about what your interest is and like how to progress them further, if that's the case.
I mean,
Because from what I've seen, they've been handling everything very respectfully, very realistically, and in a very adult way. Not in a sexual, but just in a how to think about things.
Like name dropping the 180-degree rule and like that whole like actual like classroom discussion scene that they had about script writing. I had that lecture about those. Yeah. I didn't fucking remember the answer, but like I had that lecture. I know that.
Yeah, and I have no experience. This shit goes over my head. So that's just another layer of intrigue for you. And if they do shit right and they don't fuck it up, that's another layer for you to enjoy about the show.
Absolutely. Like everything else, like the whole going back in time thing and just the general Office Space slice of life thing that they had at the beginning didn't really interest me. But yeah, the rest of this, I'm like, really picked it up there at the end. I'm kind of glad it did do the hour long so we could get there.
Yeah, I do think like it wasn't as interesting as when he went back in time, I'd say, but I do enjoy not the like bus ride home and then he fell asleep and got his letter, but like when they went over when he had his job. I enjoyed that a lot because it shows how he cares for people, how hard of a worker he is organizing the entire project by himself in a night, and how efficient he is at getting shit done.
Mm-hmm.
This guy has talent when it comes to how to organize and make a plan and make a schedule and shit, and he burns with a passion for anything he sets his mind for. It's endearing, and it's, if I'll be honest, I'm jealous of it.
Yeah, I really found myself enjoying this show too. I'm happy it was an hour long. Got to learn more about the main character. Got to see his struggle. Got to not identify with him, but endear myself to him. And then we got to see the girl that he woke up next to, and that scene where they're walking back and he's carrying her. It was super sweet. They basically went to a college mixer. It's like, wait, are we allowed to be here? We're not in any clubs yet. And then the girl's like, I don't think they care.
Yeah, and I mean, they're also in high school, so it's nothing weird about it. They're all 18. So we don't have to deal with things with Dolphin Tokyo Rangers like, but I guess they're underage, so it's weird.
Oh, is the drinking age in Japan 18?
Drinking age is basically 18 everywhere except for America.
Actually, I think
18 or lower.
I think it's 20 in the legal age for drinking is 20 in.
Is it?
Japan. I don't know.
I don't know. It might just be my experience with Scandinavia because you can legally drink at 18 in Sweden, but you can only buy alcohol from a liquor store when you're 20. Because that makes sense.
What?
That's fucking weird.
We can just buy and drink here in Canada at 18. But yeah, 20 years of age is the legal drinking age in Japan.
Well, I mean, they weren't also drinking alcohol, but there were clearly some people who were drinking alcohol because how they were fucking acting, or they might just be having fun, you know. But that just might be, you know, seniors who have turned 20.
Yeah.
I still really like that scene. It was just really sweet when they were walking back, and she's just like patting him on the head, going, "No, I think you're a hard worker," and
like ensuring him of like, well, I might have things you're jealous of, but you have things I'm jealous of. Everyone has their worth, and all right, Our this is the show I waxed politically about for a while. Not politically, but philosophically, and I'm gonna go into one of these fucking things that I wrote because it's about this scene. So it brings forward the idea that it brings up for the idea of growth and acceptance. It tells us that no matter how ordinary or unimportant you feel, you aren't. It's not a question of that you might not be important, might be important, or might not be important. You are important to someone. There's always someone who cares. They might not say it, they might not even know it, but subconsciously you will matter to someone. You matter far more than you might think, and you might be jealous of things people have and can do, and thinking that you don't have anything. But those same people might be jealous of you for things that you have that they can never have, with how their brains work or how their physicality is or anything like that. It's a really good message of humanity and other people and people's talents and flaws and personality traits. It also just explains why we work together to hold up what other people are worse at, and strengthen what people are good at. It's a really touching message that spoke a lot to me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And let me say the other one while I'm also at it. At the beginning of the show, I watching this guy thinking of what he would do different and thinking back on his life, falling asleep, and kind of me watching, kind of expecting him to wake up as a kid and him not. It kind of promotes the childish notion that everything will work out if you follow your dreams and do the things you love, because that's kind of the fantasy we go through by watching shows where someone gets to do their life over. But at the same time, doing what you love won't work out unless you put some hard work and effort into it. And going with a safe option might be better for some people, but not taking the plunge and doing what you thought you might have enjoyed is probably not going to be worth it in the future. You should probably go with what you wanted to do, because then you will meet people who are like-minded to what your interests are, instead of doing something you aren't interested in. Because everyone needs to make the choice of what they want to do with their career and their life after school, and they need to do that in school when they are young and don't quite know what they want to do with their life. I still don't know what to do with don't know what I want to do with my life, and I'm fucking 22. But he did not enjoy what brought the advent of his choice of what he had decided to do with his life, and now he gets to make another attempt at it. And it's normal to fantasize about what we would do differently in our lives if we got to do it all over again. But that will never happen. Time flows linearly, and there's no fighting that current. So these thoughts are limited to fantasy, but indulging in fantasy has its own merits. So I'll be happy to watch someone else do what I can't, because I did the same mistake this guy did. I had the choice of going to a school for art and game with all my other friends, and I decided to go with the safe option of going to carpentry work, because that's what a lot of adults told me made good money. And I did not enjoy it.
Yeah, and I, to an extent, am still in that limbo. I don't know what I want to do to my life. And almost every adult in my life is being, go oil field, sell your soul so you can slowly start to hate your life over the next course of forever. And I'm like, well, no, I don't want to, but I also don't know what else I want to do. So
yeah, I mean, it's hard to figure it out, but that's something you need to work on, because finding what you want to do in life is important. More important than basically anything, because if you can't make a living without feeling like you're breaking yourself down from the inside or the outside, it's going to ruin your life. Either fast or slowly. You're either going to become a person you hate, or you are going to ruin yourself from being able to do what you love later in life. So, people telling you to just go into the oil field, me, fuck those people. Just think for yourself and take the opinions from people you might value more, or actually if they give you an opinion, of what you might do with your life, think about it. And if you like the sound of it, maybe look into it.
Yeah. So it's a good episode. I liked this.
I read down in my notes that like I was in the middle when I watched it. But like I think in comparison and on reflection, I definitely think I liked this episode a lot more than I thought I did initially.
Are we ready for cards?
Yeah, I'll start. When the episode ended and I just kind of leaned back in my chair and just stared at the ceiling, I mean, this episode touched on so many things I'm worried about in my own life, and I hope it handles them as respectfully and as in a real manner that they've been doing so far in continuing on. I think this show is not only going to be a good ride and a show of what makes entertainment so good by all the creative and talented people in it, I think it might just improve my life by the topics and things they might bring up. I might actually figure out something about myself by watching this, because if it makes me think this hard about myself and my future, it might actually make me have some action on what I want to do.
Yeah, I'm also gonna give the show the fuck. I wasn't nearly as like introspective with it, but I totally hear where you're coming from. That's kind of the feeling that Vivi gave me, and why I loved it so much. Is just every episode made me think, and this episode definitely does scratch some itches. Like I really like it. It's pretty to look at. The designs are good. The girl he woke up next to is my type.
Yeah. Short blue-haired girls. Yes. Please.
Okay, my brain just called myself out. As soon as I said that, I just heard in my mind, in my own voice, every girl is your type. Anyways, but yeah, I like this. I'm gonna give it the fuck.
So did I, and I'm also gonna give it the fuck. But like, I don't know how much of it is like me actually gonna be able to, like, get affected by this. Like I hope I do. Like, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep watching this show because I actually like it, or because I personally am just like, I don't know, need that outlet of like, this is what I could have had if, I don't know, I would have been born in a decent town that has like access to a decent college course.
Well, that is our trifecta for Remake Our Life, Episode 1. Let's move on to Girlfriend, Episode 1. Naoya is dating his friend Saki, but when a girl named Nagisa confesses to him, they ask Saki to allow him to date both of them. Reluctantly, she agrees, and they both move in with Naoya. Saki begins having a bisexual breakdown as Nagisa brings up sexy times. This show is such utter trash, and I fucking loved every second of it. I had a smile on my face from front to back. It is so over the top and dumb. The voice actors have so much fun. Every little bit of it I loved. I was laughing so much this episode with Saki's antics, Naoya being head empty, Nagisa just taking little joys and having edges over Saki. It was fucking... I loved it!
It really is a show about three people sharing a singular brain cell.
It's so fucking stupid, I love it! I fucking loved it!
Neep. All I gotta say is... -0 brain cells gang rise up. This show is fascinating. I want to see more of it.
I was thinking that Levis might not enjoy this, but I was just fucking wheezing with laughter the entire fucking time.
The comedy is so well paced. Like, it's actually funny.
Yeah, like the fucking moments where he's like, by the way, Saki, you are really cute today. She just turns around, blushes, just puts on his mouth. No!
I love how he's constantly fucking embarrassing her at every goddamn turn, and she's like, I'm happy, but what the fuck, dude?
It's fucking great.
I'm so glad we're all on the same page with this.
I was like, God, I might just be alone here, but nope.
Oh, it reminds me of so many fucking relationships I've seen my friends have, where the girl is allowed to be like, oh yeah, this girl's hot, I want to fuck her. But then the moment the guy does, she just slaps him. I fucking love it.
Yeah, no, she's just, when she met Dog, she's like, I just instantly fucking love her. And it's just like, I want to marry her. I'm like, yeah, I get that feeling. She's like, come on now. It's just like, no, I'm serious. I want to date you both. She's like, you bitch.
They move in, and she's just like, I don't mean to brag, but I'm terrible at doing chores. All right, then you can take a break. She's just sitting there.
She's so happy about it.
Yeah, she's just being a pampered princess, and the bisexual meltdown just starts to happen just goes downhill from there.
She's dealing with some repressed homophobia for sure.
I do have to fucking say, this fucking guy is the most fucking well-made anime himbo I've ever seen. He means so well, but he is so fucking dumb.
Yes.
Yeah, and he has titanium balls of steel. I really want to have a threesome. Don't say that word! The tea kettle goes off.
Don't fucking say it like that!
I was howling with laughter this entire I was so worried I was gonna get thrown off a bridge.
Okay, yeah, I thought for a fact that Meep would be into this. He already said that he would be into this. I was afraid that we were going to open up and Makan was going to go on a rant like I did with Detective. I am so surprised by this outcome. I am surprised that we all like this show. Why do we like this show? This is trash!
It kind of made me cringe in the beginning, but then it just overcame me with how stupid it is. How brilliantly fucking stupid it is.
I was worried of the opposite. I thought me and Makan were going to be into how dumb this show is. I thought you were going to hate it, Lewis.
I came in expecting to hate it. You know, I have a bias against things like romance in general. And, like, I do not trust an anime to portray, like, a polyamorous relationship. But as soon as it started hitting me with the strange JoJo-style splashes of color with the characters, and just the rapport that the main girl, redheaded girl, had with the main dude, I'm like, oh god, this might actually be something of interest.
It has such a low budget and uses it so well. The fucking music. Did any of you notice how over the top the music is?
No, I didn't really, because I was too hard.
The show is so over the top with it. It just has fun. It's gonna have fun this whole season.
Yeah. And it's
Clearly the animators have so much fucking fun making this.
Oh yeah, and it uses its limited animation budget to a strength at times.
Just, like, there are some bad background anime faces, but I can't help but to make it improves it, I swear.
No, I need to... I know this show objectively is not... It's not, well... But god damn it, I love it. This is killing bites for me. Sometimes you want that 5-star sirloin steak from a steakhouse.
And sometimes you want to slaughter a greasy $1 kebab.
Oh yeah. That's what this show is for me. It is anime junk food. I was so sad seeing that I couldn't watch episode 2 of this until we talked about this. I am so ecstatic that we're all on the same page.
I want to see this man bullshit his way into a polyamorous relationship, episode by episode. I think this is going to be incredible.
I do need to mention the opening, because apparently there's 2 more girls getting involved. How the fuck is this going to work?
This is going to be awesome. This is going to be great.
This is the only harem anime that works, because it's not based in romance. It's just stupid comedy, and it's great.
Well, I'm not going to say it's the only harem anime. Well, either way, that's a different discussion. But if we're talking about the opening, I really like the opening.
The opening's good. I honestly think the opening like, out of all the ones we got so far, the opening is the best of the season so far.
Yes! Oh my god! Never in my life did I go. Never in my life did I think I would like something like this. But 2 more girls are gonna get involved. One of them being his first girlfriend's best friend.
I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen with that. Is she gonna be like in the relationship? Is she just gonna be close and just be like, what the fuck is happening? Either or is great.
I just love how well-meaning the main character is too. He's like, I wouldn't be able to cheat on both of you and lie to you. This is the only way I can think of it working. And it's just like,
He's just a fucking himbo. He's just kind-hearted.
I was terrified because I thought they were going to go the route where he was going to accept. He was not going to tell the other girl about how the fact that he's in another relationship and was just going to accept her proposal outright. I am so happy that it's like, no, let's actually, like, make a middle ground here. Let's talk this out.
Yes, but Limus, if he did that, the show would have been ruined. It would have been so bad.
It would have been awful.
Yeah. But then he takes her and she's like, how do you expect us to talk about anything if I don't even know her? While she's holding her like the fucking meme, I've only had Nagisa for 1 day. And if he has her, I'll kill everyone in this room and then myself. They just go to sing, and then Nagisa's a terrible singer, and she's like, you're cute when you're embarrassed. Nagisa falls playing sports. Your underwear is cute too.
Yep. It's so fucking... This show is a dumpster fire, but hell, if it's a freezing winter night, hey, that dumpster fire feels quite nice.
Oh, I am so happy we're on the same page. I fucking loved this. The scene where she's on the ground in the towel, she makes me feel things that I don't even understand myself. It's just like,
it gives me weird feelings as a woman. Fucking hell.
I fucking loved this. This is the show I gave a 10.
This is the show that you gave a 10? Sweet.
It does nothing wrong.
I don't know.
I rate the shows episode by episode. Like after each episode, I'll see if I change the rating that I've given it. And after I watch this, I'm just like, that was just fun the entire way through, and I gave it a 10.
I usually just wait until like the last few episodes to start giving it a rating and switching it around.
That's fair. It's just the way I like to do things, but
just know that we may get that, like, we get notifications on Mal when you do, so, like, be careful. I knew that, I saw that you updated your rating once on the sidelines, and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta look away.
Oh, okay. I thought it only did that when you, mark it as you completed the episodes.
I don't know. I think it did. I don't know. I just saw it on the side and I looked away just in case.
Because you might have been seeing my rating for part 5.
Maybe I was. I don't know.
But at the same time, yeah, I think it updates every time you change the rating. So, you know. Fuck. I have... It's just my views of how I see a relationship, and just in my brain, poly would never work out, and how I wouldn't see relationships, which is just this. I look forward to seeing this shit because it seems so good.
Yeah, as a poly man myself, this is in no way trying to be an accurate representation of a real poly relationship, but
this is not an accurate representation of humans. No one's this dumb.
It doesn't. This show doesn't take itself seriously,
which is the right way of doing this, because otherwise it'd be so bad.
Oh yeah.
And the entire fucking argument of their relationship and, like, trying to make it work between the 3 characters, it was like a fucking shonen battle.
Yes!
That's why I was looking through my notes like, how did I describe this shit?
I'll give you 30,000 yen each month. I'll give you this food. And her mother accepts that she's gonna live with her boyfriend.
Can I borrow her from her? She's like, huh? Yeah, alright. I'll let her father know. Oh, that's so good. I do have a singular complaint about the entire episode.
That there's not more?
No. Okay, two then. The fact that, like any other fucking anime girl who gets embarrassed or doesn't get what she wants in a relationship, she uses violence immediately. I did not enjoy that. That was just like, no, you were doing so good, no. But then she did not get violent or physical again after that, and it was just an argument, so... Alright, yeah, good enough. It was a clutch reaction, I can move on.
I was not taking the show seriously enough for that to bother me personally. I was just... of course.
I've seen enough romance anime to that, to just be an instant fucking downgrade in its quality.
Fair.
I don't know, man. All I know is that anime is trash and so am I, and I love the show.
Oh my god.
Trash man, I eat garbage!
Can we hold up cards? It's a formality.
We already know! We already know our opinions.
We're all fucking the show. There's no fucking argument about it.
I'm fucking this show. This is unprecedented.
The fucking underdog out of nowhere with the trifecta. Holy shit.
When this show got picked, I internally went, like, in the roll we did, the show got picked, I just went, no. And now I couldn't be more happy. It's so fucking good.
Anime is trash, and so are we. I'm a skunk, you're a possum. Limits, would you be a raccoon?
Sure, I'll take that.
Hey.
Why can't we end off on this show and end on a high note? But we have two more to go with, sadly.
Wait, I'm the possum, Limits is the raccoon, what are you, me?
I'm a skunk.
Nice. We're the trash team.
Yeah.
This is our garbage and you cannot have it.
It's our pile of garbage. Come closer.
Trifecta for Girlfriend, episode 1. Unprecedented. But you know what the best part is? We'll have 2 episodes of this next week.
Oh, wait, we're sticking for 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week we'll be talking about 2 episodes of this.
Ooh.
Yeah, because it's one of the shows that's going to have the 2 episodes next week. Because it's going to be Girlfriend, Vanitas, and what was the other one?
Alright, yes, because this one had 2 episodes out, but we only watched 1 because of the thing we set up. Yep.
So that's 4
let's move on.
trifectas. That's 4 trifectas so far. Nice.
Yeah. Alrighty. Duke of Death and His Maid, episode 1. The Duke is a man cursed to kill anything he touches. He lives with his maid, who really wants to fuck him. His childhood friend Philip shows up, saying that the Duke's little brother will likely inherit the family name, and the family will cut ties with him. If only this anime wasn't CG.
I didn't like a single thing about the show. I didn't
as far as
hatred for it.
Yeah, as far as the CG goes, the CG is not bad. It's good.
Yeah.
It like the CG kind of lowers the quality of the show if it wouldn't have been CG, but it doesn't change much. It's still good.
I like the relationship between him and his maid. Like, just
I thought it was quite cute and interesting to begin with. I'll get into when we talk about the second episode why that isn't the case anymore.
The animation is the only thing I liked about this show. I thought it was decent CGI. Like, I didn't think it wasn't Berserk levels. I think it's mostly because the show's mostly just 2 people talking. Like, it's hard to fuck that up. I think they look relatively cute.
There's some swift movement in it as well that looks good. And I mean, as far as it goes, if anime wants to go full 3D animation in the future and do CGI, this is the way to do it. This is the kind of art style and kind of rigging you need to have with it.
Yeah. It's not half bad.
Even with the second episode, I liked the relationship between him and his maid, and although that's jumping a bit ahead, I liked him and his maid because I think the reason why I enjoyed it is because you can actually tell the Duke is into it. It's not he's it's the whole anime embarrassed, but he's a male who is clearly into it. Like he's just worried that he's going to touch her and that she'll game end.
Yeah, I mean they clearly like each other. It's just the internal turmoil of just being so touch starved and having someone willing to, be exactly what you need, but this circumstance is making that an impossibility. It is horrible.
All I have to ask is why? Why? This man's just so rich he can't even dress himself? Like,
He can,
seriously?
he can and he wants to, but she doesn't let him. And if we're perfectly honest, he should, because one fucking slight touch of him would kill her.
It's just... I
He-
just
even-
don't,
even-
like...
Yeah, I mean, even through clothing, because it's been shown that him with wearing gloves still kills things.
I was just bored, man. Like, I don't care about anyone. Like, I just... Like, I feel like if I wanted this type of story, I could get it better by just reading a fucking X-Men arc that had Rogue as a main character. Like, it's just boring to me. Yeah, her power is that she can basically drain people's lives and other powers by touching them. And it's basically the show, but with more interesting scenarios. Because X-Men's
yes,
cool.
but that's a superpower. This is a curse that kills anything and anyone that he touches. It's not voluntary.
I see this show being new situation arises. She's being all sexually promiscuous with him. He's like, no, sexual harassment. This isn't. You shouldn't be doing this. I'm gonna kill you accidentally. And then there's a new situation where it's like, oh, he's gonna have to resist touching her. Maybe he'll break the curse. I don't know. I just don't care.
I mean, to me, it's a problem of like, sure, I enjoyed it to begin with, but at the time, after a while she kept going and offered to dress him and everything. I mean, does she just have a fetish of brushing clothes to death or something? Because this is
borderline suicidal or something.
Yeah, because I mean, if she's doing this because she loves him, that's incredibly uncaring because it's going to constantly give this guy insane amounts of stress by almost killing the person he fucking loves every single fucking day.
On top of
the fact that she keeps going and keeps doing it, like, sure, he enjoys it and she enjoys teasing him, I suppose, but it's the same reason why I hate other shows about it. It's kind of just bullying him.
And it's just like, I hate, like, the whole witches ideology and shit that I think it's totally gonna lean into, that, like, it's like, oh yeah, you can't possibly, ever be, like, attached to someone without the sensation of touch. And it's like, that's some fucking bullshit right there.
Humans require closeness to a lot of people. That's a very normal thing for biology to do most of the time. And being touch-starved is a very real thing. Yeah. And when you're so close to someone and someone you like this much and when you clearly care for them in a sexual manner, not being able to do that when both of you are willing to, that has to be torture.
I mean, yeah. But I'm just saying, the other girl can maybe stop that and stop making this dude's life just this endless, oh my god, I'm going to kill this lady at some point. Like,
yeah, it's my
instead of giving
point.
him unnecessary fucking stress and anxiety.
Honestly,
this fucking scene when she put the cookie in his mouth. Why didn't you just reach up with this fucking hand and take it out of his mouth? Why didn't you just do that?
But they gotta have their cute moment because they're gonna be a couple by the end of the show.
I guess.
This might just be me giving more benefit of the doubt than the show deserves, but I think that just might be something that she hasn't been able to fully grasp onto because she obviously doesn't live for herself. She's not that she's not the brightest tool in the shed, but it seems like she can also be pretty selfish in her desires, so I just don't think that that's something that's crossed her mind, and maybe the show will even touch on at some point. But as far as it is, I enjoyed seeing it. Even some of the situations that don't involve her, I enjoyed, like the subversion where it's trying to lead us to believe that no, his childhood friend's going to like him, but then his childhood friend shows up and is super terrified of the curse and is treating him like shit.
Yeah, it because experiencing that and seeing how happy he was, and when he said like expecting this to be good made it hurt more, and that is why I have stopped having expectations for things. I don't become hyped about games. I don't become hyped about anime. I don't become hyped about any upcoming event in my life. I simply take it at face value when I reach it, because in this moment, watching him get excited and watching him get absolutely soul crushed by it, it just felt like my heart was fucking rotting with how disgusted I felt about it. Because I've been there. I've had that feeling. Maybe not as extreme as this, but I've experienced my hopes being crushed enough that I never want to go through that again.
Same. The bit recently, before I was seeing the person I'm seeing now, I was really excited because I had a date with someone and they stood me up, and I didn't deal with it in the healthiest way. I went to I called a friend and I ended up going to the bars with him, getting absolutely smashed on a shot called an interception hand grenade.
It's what it is. But yeah, it's why I probably am unable to fucking bring myself to date, because that will require getting my hopes up, and I'm not fucking doing that.
Yeah, and I'm not saying either of you are wrong for not enjoying the show. I personally enjoyed it. At least this first episode.
Yeah, I get that. It's just it bored me to death.
And Meep, I'm going to kind of give a spur here, and I did enjoy the first episode. Watching it, I had a lot of enjoyment. The relationship between him and his maid was enjoyable. I enjoyed seeing him getting giddy in a very about this first meeting with his childhood friend since this curse happened, and just seeing how reclusive he's been and how happy he is to get some visitors, and then having that be ruined. It was not good, but it definitely hit an emotional note, and how just terrified they are of this person, because if he wanted them dead, he'd walk up and just touch them, and they'd be dead.
Mm-hmm. It's absolutely horrifying.
It's horrifying, and it also speaks volume about him that he is not a vengeful person, because these people have wronged him harshly, and he could just have killed them, because they couldn't do anything. They couldn't restrain him. They could simply run and nothing else.
I don't know if what I'm about to say is gonna bring up my empathy into question again, but like a part of me is like, yeah, I mean, that is kind of crappy, doing all that. But then I'm also thinking, you have your own private mansion in the middle of the woods with 2 servants.
Sure,
you fucking rich bastard.
I mean, it is that, but having nice things doesn't mean anything if you can't enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Because if you have no one to spend it, if everyone fucking fears you except for a senile old man and a maid that is constantly sexually teasing you with something that you will never be able to experience because of your condition, that's more torture in this fancy gilded cage you're in.
Yeah.
This is jumping around a bit, but his sister seemed to care about him when she visited him.
His sister kind of a bit, but we'll get into that. So, with my statement of that, how do we want to hold up cards for this episode?
Yeah, I'm ready to hold up cards.
Yeah, sure.
I'll fuck this episode. The CG was throwing me off, but overall, I found myself enjoying it.
I'm gonna kill it. Like I said, I just don't care. Like, there are so many other shows and stuff shows, games, anything else that I'd rather watch than this. It's just, it has refused to do anything that has gotten me interested, excited, or invested.
Mm-hmm. And on my merits of what I enjoyed about this episode, I'm going to give it the fuck. This introduced enough interesting ideas and plot points it might bring up on, and at least seeing some very human and real reactions that I've experienced myself. It definitely has some mind mentality and knowledge of how the human mind works going. And I can respect that. So I'm fucking the first episode.
Yeah. Alrighty. The Duke of Death and His Maid, Episode 2. The Duke's butler, Rob, returns to work as he's visited by his younger sister, who appears to care about his state. He writes a song for Alice and gets chased around by an abandoned cat, and then fake dances with Alice in the ballroom. I was actually able to move past the CG for the most part in this episode. The CG stopped bothering me.
Yeah.
And
The CG was a lot better in the second episode, and it was generally good. Like, look at this face; it's very well done in CGI. Most CGI suffer because they don't have a lot of detail to the face. Look at all the fucking detail in this man's face.
This dude's got like a lot of lines and shit on him. He looks like he's seen some shit.
And when he like moves around as well in his old like man state when he was chasing that cat, like it's well fucking animated in the rigs. It's good CGI.
Like Berserk 2016, this is not. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Credit where credit's due. Like, it looks decent.
But I do want to get into this kind of right away, because this episode lost me where the first episode got me, because it kind of just didn't bring up anything new, interesting. It kind of just kept going with the Maid sexualization and him enjoying playing the piano, and that kind of being the one thing he still does in hopes that when his family abandons him, or if they abandon him, he'll have money by his music. And what kind of brought this into what I don't like about the relationship between the Maid and him is the ballroom dance. Because I can accept her being selfish and wanting to tease him for his reaction, or by her selfish desire to, express her love for him. But he clearly loves her, and clearly is okay with abstaining from any sort of interaction with her most of the time, by virtue of keeping her safe. And then he offers them to dance while holding up their hands and moving in the motions while being close, and one misstep could kill her. There's no way I see him doing that as the character he's built up, and I find that extremely disingenuous and disgusting.
Incredibly improbable. Like, the fact that...
Like, the way how close she gets and how jumpy this guy is, and how clumsy he seems to be constantly. There's no way she didn't die earlier, and if she didn't die earlier, there's no way he doesn't misstep and she dies during that dance.
Yeah, the dance was a bit weird.
Another point of why I don't like the relationship is when he brings up, apparently my grandfather and your mother used to dance like this. I'm like, what's the fucking age difference here? Is he still underage and she's like 28?
No, they said in the first episode they were both kids. Like, they were both around the same age.
Right.
Yes. I think his grandfather may have been a role model for her mother.
Maybe so. It's just, I don't know, it kind of gave me a bit of a creeped out feeling extra about that, but even if that isn't the case, I still have a problem with it.
I know what it is now. Because she's the daughter of the head maid, so her mother was probably his grandfather's servant.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's my biggest problem. The other one is that it seems the story is kind of just going to be focused on their relationship, a new guest coming over and interacting with how the fuck they interact with this guy and his reactions to them is kind of the theme they're building up. And they're talking about, like, we need to break this curse, but they're really making no progress of, like, trying to find this witch, finding out how to break a curse, or looking into anything like that. They're just living their life, and I feel like we're not going to get anywhere with that, and I really don't enjoy that.
I don't know. It's only been 2 episodes. I feel like we're gonna get something like that relatively soon.
I have literally nothing else to say. Well, I do have one thing to say. That song that he's supposedly writing, I know for a fact is royalty free because I've heard a YouTuber I like tends to use it in his videos a lot. But I mean, that's a minor point, whatever. But like, besides that, like, same things I said about the previous episode is same here because like, I just don't kind of care.
The song, the fucking piano thing was quite cute. How he wrote the song for her and how she reassured him last episode that she does care about him, even though his childhood friend kind of ruined his faith in humanity yet again. And she's there to bring it back. I did enjoy that. That's his gift to her, to kind of give back. But the rest of this episode kind of fucked it up for me.
I like how this episode shows better that you can tell he's definitely into her. Like, he's staring, and then she turns. She's like, staring a bit too hard there, Your Grace. He's like, you motherfucker, you're doing it on purpose.
Oh,
like, I wouldn't even say that's what proves that he's into her. I'd say that's the fact that he's writing a song for her is what proves he's into her more than that. Because other than that, it's just puberty and fucking sexy woman.
That was something that I forgot to say about the first episode. Is like, yeah, that's definitely sexual harassment and like not good. But like as seen here, it's like, yeah, he's obviously definitely into it, and he's being a little bit like, he's just trying to like protect her or whatever. And it's like, I guess it's not that bad.
Though something else that crosses my mind, and this is probably, and even if this is the case, I will admit it's still not great for him. It also could be her way of trying to push him to find a way to break the curse, because it appears he's taking a very passive route to figuring it out. He's definitely, like, he wants to, but he's not trying, and this could just be her way of trying to push him to do so. That's definitely speculation, but it could be something that's happening.
I mean, from the looks of it, he's kind of already given up on life and is just kind of going through the motions.
Fair. Yeah, other than that, I still enjoyed this episode. I think they're really cute. Like the cat scene where, like, the moment she picked up the cat, I'm like, oh, it's gonna scratch her boobs, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, you see the cat there just really going in.
Yeah, it wasn't even scratching. It was just fucking kneading them immediately. Like, oh, yes, tits. Boop, 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 boop.
I liked that one. My brain thought of a bunch of different jokes when the pretty lady picked up the pussycat.
Yes.
All I gotta say is I gotta quote, like half quote something that I saw in a comment on this episode. That was just like when the cat gets outside and gets all of his people together, gets all of his like weird cat family together, and like the Duke is having his discussion. Is like, you're kind of a lot like me. Just internally the cat, nah, fuck yeah, I got my own person. This must suck to be you, loser.
I was kind of hoping you're kind of a lot like me, and then the rest of the cat's family comes up and he's like, oh, never mind.
Yeah. Are we ready for cards on this episode?
I do also want to touch on his sister. She might carry in a very backhanded and cold way, but I think she was mostly just there to thirst over the fucking old man.
Yep.
I just see her as a tsundere. I don't care about my sibling, Babaka. Oh, Rob. Oh, just push me against a fireplace.
I wouldn't say she's tsundere. She's just fucking insulting him. Nothing else, really. I mean, tsundere is being hot and cold for the same person, not being cold to one person and wanting to take old guy dick by the other.
Well, she did show moments of kindness to her brother.
Did
she?
She
wasn't immediately insulting him the whole time. She was being a bit catty with him about how he likes Alice, but she's very cold, but I do think she cares about him in her own way. Like, she wouldn't be... I don't think she would have been there otherwise, because she didn't know Rob was back.
Well, I mean, I don't think she, fucking his childhood friend didn't know Rob wasn't there either. So I mean, she might have just expected him to be there because he's his butler. He kind of lives there.
Mm. I guess I just got a different read out of that scene.
Yeah, but that's all I want to touch on. I fucking despise her as a person, and I hope she hugs her brother real tight someday.
Oof. Well, if we're ready to touch on cards, I'm gonna fuck this episode. I was able to move past the CG, and I actually found myself enjoying the show a lot more than I expected. I actually really like Alice, even if she is being a bit selfish. Although I am curious to see if she is just trying to push him to, not give up on breaking the curse. I'm curious to see how that pans out. But yeah, you can tell she does really care about him. She's really sweet. She might not get the full gravity of how he might be feeling, but yeah.
I'm gonna kill this episode. I did not enjoy how his character ended up progressing with the invitation to the dance, knowing the danger it posed to her. She might be a fucking death fetishist, but it doesn't make an excuse for why his character would change so much to make that a thing he's willing to do. I think that's so disingenuous, and the entire show really didn't move forward enough for me to be interested to watch another episode. So I'm killing it.
Duke of Death is up on the wheel. Because I'm going to kill it also, because I don't really... I continue to not care.
Very well. That is two kills and a fuck for the Duke of Death and his Maid, episode 2. Let's move on to The Dungeon of Black Company, episode 1. Ninomiya is a CEO who, when brought to another world, is forced to work in the mines. He conscripts a lizard.
Oh. He is no CEO. He is the
he's not CEO.
NEET.
Yeah, and he's not a CEO. He's a stock marketer who fucking made it big.
Either way, he's a rich man who's forced to work in the mines when he is conscripted to another world. He brings a lizard man to help him dig on the 3rd floor from a portal that no one knows about for some reason, hires a dragon to help protect him, and brainwashes his coworkers using a staff, and when it breaks, he is beaten up. Speaking of shows I don't care about... I have nothing to say on this show.
I think it's great that this guy isn't just I was down on my luck and didn't have anything to live for at home, and I'm going to change my life. No, he was doing great for himself. He spent a lot of time learning the stock market, bought stocks overseas, fucking lived solidly on that, built several apartment complexes, made money off that, and just built a fucking penthouse at the top, and just had his life set forever. And then it was snatched away from him. He was forced to do hard work for hard physical labor instead of just hard mental labor. And this hard mental labor instead giving him this evil and sinister scheming ideas to make money again. He's a bad person. Yes. But so am I, and I love watching him fucking scheme.
He is an asshole. I love that he calls himself the ultimate NEET. And I want to continue to watch him scheme and try to bullshit and weasel his way out of this situation. This dude is my kind of character. I love an asshole with a plan.
Yeah, it's my kind of character as well. I'm kind of a cunt myself. I try to do better, but I'm a sadist, and I do shit that I find funny when I don't really care about the people involved. And this guy's the fucking same.
I was just bored this entire episode, and then things happened for... Like, what the fuck is with that portal?
Well, he found a fucking hidden portal that goes deeper in this magical dungeon. It's not that difficult to understand.
But how does no one else know about it? How?
They haven't found it?
I think that that's going to be a plot point. Like, I think that this tunnel and why it's there is going to be it. Because, like, he didn't question it over, like, the fact that he's like, this is a good way I can make some quick cash and not starve. Like, I think there's going to be something more, like, maybe something that has to do with the monsters. Maybe someone else is using this portal for some other reasons. Maybe I'm giving this show too much credit. I don't know.
I mean, I would just chalk it up to like, all right, we found the entrance to the dungeon. That's just where we're going, and then they just focused on building a fucking factory about it. I don't see why anyone would go around and prod the rest of the fucking area around and trying to find this.
But the portal is in one of the walls of the fucking complex. How would no one have found that?
That's the only thing, and I just think that's an oversight by the anime adapting whatever or some shit, because I think it should have probably. Yeah, I think it should have been like into the mountain wall instead, because or someone made this portal, used it, and then got their money and went, "I see ya," and just left it there.
Like, it's obvious that other adventurers and stuff have gone down there. Like, I'm assuming that they also used that entrance and then got ate by the dragon lady.
Yeah, I mean, there were some like magic equipment down there. It might have been the people who made the portal or something like that. But there's also, you can also just go through the dungeon by the normal floor progression, I suppose.
Yeah.
Other than that, other than this man just being a supervillain, I didn't really enjoy anything about this show.
I love me a good anti-hero. If we're talking about manipulative, this guy manipulates fucking everyone.
Yeah.
This shy, sweet, fucking lizard folk, dragonborn boy, just being like, we should probably not do this to people. He's just like, I don't fucking no.
Yeah, I can see him being the voice of reason. And like as soon as he made the deal with the dragon, and she turned into like almost borderline lolly, I was like a little bit, but then like.
I love that she's still just a fucking monster.
She's still a monster. She wants to eat. That's it.
Yeah, she wants to eat. She doesn't give a shit. She has no fucking modesty or morals. She's like, all right, well, I'm getting in this bath. He's like, could you wash yourself? Nah. Are you fucking pissing in this?
I will say I did like her in the background just waving around the staff the whole time.
Yeah, just hypnotize.
Yeah. I was afraid that she was just gonna become a human instead of being an actual dragon. No, she's a dragon. Just in a human body now.
Yeah, and just in the end, just like, yeah, no, if you didn't have food to give me, you said I could eat you. I was like, no way, just bites him in the ass.
I remember when I was watching this, my eyes glazed over, but I'm not sure. But I'm starting to think that like I was bored in that time because I watched so many shows up to that point. Because on reflection, I actually liked a lot of what it did, and I'm interested to see more of it. I can see it like going down the drain super hard, but
yeah. I can see this being real bad if it's just this guy coming up with a scheme and being thwarted. No, I want to see this guy have success, because this guy has business savvy, and there's no way he'd be thwarted with his amount of fucking savviness and how he made his money in the real world.
There's a lot of room for growth and character development that I think could be interesting to see from this dude.
Definitely, and I am happy to watch more, because I fucking love this. I faced this out with an evil grin. This was the last show I watched from the shows I had to watch, but I was still super fucking invested to see what the fuck was happening. Like, this is the kind of dude who fucking stands in his high-rise apartment cackling while wearing a fucking Speedo. Hell yeah, I want to watch this guy. He seems funny.
Look at all these plebeians beneath me having to work in a typhoon.
I was completely wrong. I thought all of us were going to hate this. I was completely off the mark.
I enjoy some wicked characters, as me might fucking know from my D&D play.
Yes, Honor, the CEO.
Yes, Honor, or say Lahar.
Lahar, the CEO of Oh God, Why Did I Allow Echo Night?
But seeing as Meep doesn't really have anything to say generously at all, you really have no points at all to talk about this show?
not for me necessarily. It's a bit of a hard show to talk about for me.
Well, Limus, do you have anything else you want to bring up about the show?
I have about 3 lines for notes for this show. No, I have 2 lines of notes for this show. I've said all I need to say.
Yeah, I just have a quick thing describing what my general thought was on it. I don't have anything more than that, and it's kind of just shrewd man does shrewd kind of evil business plan. It working out, and he kind of getting his comeuppance, but that's just a minor setback. He's gonna fucking come up with something new, and he's gonna have success because this guy doesn't give up. He wants his cushy life, and he's gonna fucking get it. I can respect that.
I came up with one thing. I do like more about. I like about the show that I can talk about. I like the setting. I like this industrialized fantasy setting. Like, if we explore more on that, I'd be super into that.
Yeah, no, I agree as well, because it's just fucking holy water sprinkler, fucking set up a mining company in a dungeon. You're just like, alright, we'll just mine the first floor, get some fucking not worth it, but cheap profit, and have fucking horrible work hours and work ethics, but hey, fucking brass makes money.
Yeah.
I love the setting as well. I like that originally it was just a fantasy setting that dungeons appeared in, and they just went like, I can milk you.
Yeah, I really hope that it does take more storylines and plot lines that exist outside of the dungeon and the work complex, and just do a little bit more world building. I'd be down for this.
I do also want to mention one thing. He's the only fucking human here. It is such a different mix of races, most of them being kind of kobolds or lizard folk. And I enjoy that, because he's a fucking oddity in this oddity of bunching other fucking races that... Because they clearly seem to come from a different place in this world, down on their luck, having to take a ridiculous loan and do this hard fucking horrible work to pay it off. And another thing I want to mention is just about this guy. I think he has one of the most interesting and unique faces and facial expressions in anime. Because I have not seen... he's such a unique-looking character when it comes to these things.
Kind of reminds me of Kamina, looking at him.
Yeah, with the blue hair and that kind of facial structure and the kind of cocky smile. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this is Shadow Realm, fucking Kamina.
I like that. That's great. But with that, I think we are ready to hold up cards.
Yeah. I'll hold up mine first. I'm gonna kill the show. I don't... Other than him being a cackling supervillain, I don't have anything I enjoy in the show. I don't see it surviving, because I see this show having only that going for it, and that can only carry it for so long. But yeah, that's ultimately my feelings on the show.
I wouldn't I'm gonna fuck the show, but I wouldn't just fuck it if I thought this was gonna be everything it does. If it's just formulaic of him coming up with a plan and being thwarted every time, I'm quickly gonna lose my interest. But I think it's gonna go wider. I think he's gonna leave this dungeon and go on grand adventures for more business opportunities. It's gonna be fucking fun, I think.
Yeah, as long as it's not stagnant, and as long as it keeps doing interesting and new things, I'm down for it as well.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't get into a predictable rut of doing the same thing in, let's say, 2-episode arcs for a long time.
I will shank you in a closet.
Or if it does, at least have it be interesting.
You're on that ride with me, Lewis. Don't you throw me under the bus.
I'm defending it. I liked the formula of Vibbies. I thought it was fun. It's just some of the scenarios were not so good. And the ending sucked, but whatever.
What's your vote, Limus?
My vote's fuck. I'm down with seeing this asshole through. So with that, I think that's the first episode.
Yeah, it's time to pull up the wheel.
The Wheel of Doom. Give me a second while I fumble through my stream setup.
I'm looking through the votes. I like how I was the only one who killed the first episode of Peach Boy, and I was the only one who fucked the second episode of Peach Boy.
Oh no.
What?
Give me a second. I'm experiencing some weird technical stuff that I was not expecting.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's fine. Just keep talking. Just vamp, please. I need cover up.
Yeah, I don't know what the map about.
I am just so happy all of us loved Girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I do want to. I do want to bring up a point because when I watched the shows and I wrote down in my notes, I basically put them all as kind of fuck ambiguously. I'm like, God, am I really gonna fuck every fucking show? Oh no, this is gonna be bad. But I enjoy how talking about it and kind of thinking more into it because I clearly couldn't do that when I was sitting there alone. Apparently, it made me recontextualize and rethink some things. Because when watching it, I was like, yeah, I don't see any fault with Beach Boy Riverside. And now, when just talking to him, I'm like, what the fuck? This show's a huge problem. The hell's happening?
Yet you were the only one that fucked it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I
like-
killed the first episode, and I fucked the second episode. So
Yeah. Like I said before in the break, like, I really hope Peach Boy doesn't die. Like, I want to give it more of a chance. But if it happens, it happens. Like, I'll just watch it in my off time then.
yeah, we'll see what happens because it's time to spin that wheel.
Yes, just ignore the fact that you saw my OBS setup. It's a mess, I know. I'm sorry. Spinning!
Fine.
Okay, my stream is delayed, then I'm gonna have to...
No!
Alright, don't say anything, Limits. We'll wait for the stream to finish it before our reaction.
I have to watch more Detective.
Ah, fuck. Alright, well, that's a shame.
I have to watch
Boy-
more Duke of Death and Detective.
I mean... I wish Detective went, but at least Duke didn't.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Peach Boy Riverside, the first victim of summer 2021.
Ah, I should have fucked it. God damn it. Ah, I regret my choices.
Yeah, of the shows that could have died there, I think that is probably the show I wanted to die the least. What a shame.
Shame.
The Maid, well, I found some stuff interesting, right, and I want to see what it continues with. I'm not that interested. I want to see the Duke of Death go. I'm not interested in it at all.
Yeah. This is a worst case scenario for me, but okay.
I guess we'll deal with it. The first of this is Peach Boy Riverside. Only getting out 2 episodes before getting shanked, or in the spirit of the show, laser beamed. Because fucking hell, they like their laser beams.
Don't worry, it just means next week either Detective or Duke of Death will die. Unless fucking mining company or Sonny Boy fucks up real hard.
I swear to God, if Duke of Death actually makes it past its 3rd episode, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be happy at all.
I mean, it's possible Detective is also on the wheel.
Yeah, so I mean, if there's still a wheel, it's going to be up to chance, and we're going to deal with that.
Sorry, I meant Duke. I meant Detective, not Duke.
Well, they're both going to be up on the wheel if they keep being as they are.
Yeah.
Marking Peach Boy is dropped and at a 6.
I'm going to put Peach Boy on hold. I'm not going to watch it during the season, but I'll probably get back to it and see if it does something interesting moving on.
I'm going to keep watching it because I have faith that it might get better again. I'm going to give it at least 1 more episode before making my final judgments.
Fair enough.
I
Shit,
don't want to let go.
Detective dropped a lot. It was at 7.93, now it's at 7.71. Holy shit.
Yeah, if episode 2 comes out, people watch it.
No, but fucking girlfriend is at 6.82. God damn it. This is an injustice.
Remake.
I could see
Remake
people being like, this is not my intellectual and highbrow anime comedy.
Oh, yeah. Remake is our highest rated now at 7.92.
I can see that. Like I said, it made me feel a lot of things, and it touches a lot of things that people have gone through because everyone goes through school and having to decide on what they want to do with their life. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Remake is very good.
But
I
yeah,
think this might be our least bloodiest season, judging by how it's been going.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant when I talked when Limus was trying to get the wheel up. Like, I originally felt like, oh god, am I gonna like every show? This is gonna be a fucking issue because I can't watch every fucking I can't watch all of this every fucking week. That's a lot.
Especially with 2 more joining the roster.
just like,
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna catch up. It's gonna be, back to 10 episodes and less, or less, really, as we go on. But
I'm yeah, I'm so surprised on how many solid shows we got.
yeah, I mean, it's a definite jarring difference from spring.
I can see someone liking every single show we have on our list and being super dead hard about it. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I kept saying summer season usually sucks, and summer went, and I took that personally.
Oh yeah, we'll see about that.
It's like this is not even including like other shows that may have fell through our randomization. This is not like including the sequels that come out. Like fucking Dragon Maid's getting a second season and all these other shows.
Yeah, and I'm when it comes to the season, I'm basically just counting the shows I watched, which is the FMK, because I don't have time to watch more shows than that. So for me, this is the entire season, because fucking hell, I don't have time to watch like how many shows in this season? Like 30 something.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, not counting counting the FMK shows. I think I'm watching 13 just based on 14. I forgot Revengers.
Yeah. Besides the one that we have to do, like I'm gonna be watching Nighthead, which was going to be my original lock, which looks really interesting, and the sequel to the Madoka spinoff they did last year.
Well, I hope those match the quality of the things we've gotten in the FMK so far.
I really hope so. Like, I don't know. Maybe we got lucky and we got all the good shows. Who knows?
Possibly. There's a chance for that. Well,
Like, apparently last season was amazing, but you guys got all the crappy shows.
yeah. I've heard that there was a lot of good shit last season. We just didn't get much of it.
Yeah. I mean, we still got 4, in my opinion, really solid shows by the end.
Yeah, 3,
4.
2.
One. Fuck you all. It's just Peach Boy. It's the only good show on this list.
Yes. No, but from the from spring, yeah, no, I'd say we, from my perspective, we ended up with 2 good shows.
Oh yeah.
Just simply because of the violently hard misstep that Shadows House took for me. But that's the season gone, and we're on summer now, and I think this is reaching the end of the stream. Do we have anything else we want to talk about right now or bring up?
Yes, actually, I have something I want to bring up. Because I believe that the spring season is not over yet for you boys, right? You're going to be back with Dal.
Yeah,
You're going to be doing the... When are you going to be doing the awards?
We're going to be back with Dal to do the awards of spring on Wednesday this week.
Yeah, so you should go over to Dal's channel and check that out when Thursday rolls around.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Fuck.
If you missed it, you can sure go there on Thursday and watch the VOD.
Hey, by the way, I edit those VODs occasionally when they break, so yeah, watch them.
Yeah, and then but that's on Dalaron's YouTube channel, where you will be able to find this VOD as well afterwards, after it's edited, and we post it there as well, just to keep it all in one neat place for all everyone who's interested in watching them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else I want to say tonight other than I'm happy for a lot of these. We're on the same page, and even the ones we aren't, I'm not violently upset or anything. It's like I'm not upset you guys don't like a Duke of Death, because it's like, if it lives, I'll keep watching it. If it dies, I'll probably put it on hold until I'm not watching much more. Dungeon of Black Company, it's like I really don't like it, but I also don't see it surviving because of the nature of what it is as a gag anime. I see it just being same gimmick, but
Yeah, I mean, there's not a full dive here, so I mean, hopefully we can get somewhere with our enjoyment of it instead of me getting fucking angry again.
Hopefully, and Aquatope, if that dies, unless it super gets me invested, I don't think I'd be violently. I wouldn't be too violently upset. If anything, be like, okay, less shows to worry about each week.
I'm gonna give Peach Boy some episodes to like build up before I binge watch a few of them to get a bigger feel of it. But yeah, it's essentially I'm just gonna put it on hold and save that for later.
Yeah. Like,
as far as the great,
I completely forgot that Vanitas was on this list. Like,
you mean the thing you locked?
the thing that I locked and that I'm enjoying the most, I forgot was on our lineup.
I'm enjoying Girlfriend the most. If you don't know how happy I was to hear both of you loved that show too.
I don't know which show I enjoy the most yet, but from the ones I've seen so far, I think it might be Vanitas.
Fair. Oh my god, a good comedy. I don't have a defense for myself, and I'm happy I didn't have to defend myself about it.
You don't always need to defend your opinion. Sometimes you just have a guilty pleasure. We just happen to share this guilty pleasure.
Dude,
yeah.
when you said that you liked it and you're talking about it, like I heard the anticipation in your voice, like you were ready to get yelled at or something. And then both me and McConnor are like, apes together strong.
I was sitting in that corner. I'm like, I'm gonna see what Nimbus reacts with before I back this up because I'm not sure if he's gonna like it or not. We'll see. And then you go like, yeah, I love this. I'm like,
like, see, here's the thing, because at the start of each season, normally there's a good chance, because each season there's been a show where I'm like, yeah, I love this, and Dallas like, no.
I wouldn't be surprised if, like, I kind of want to hear Dallas' opinions on this show.
I want to hear Dallas' opinions on all of this and see how he would have reacted.
I think he'd love Girlfriend myself. I think that show would be right up his alley.
We need to force him to watch it. I'll have to let out some of his soul so that we can watch it with him.
Hell yeah.
It's a shame. He's sacrificed to the Viking gods now to bring Nimbus into existence.
You see, like, the last season was so bad that we had to sacrifice them to get a better list.
We had to sacrifice one of us, put all of us on a wheel, and then we spun it. No, Dalaran is not. Dalaran's safe and sound. We didn't kill him. Yeah.
We also get our first episode of Sonny Boy next week.
Yes.
I mean, I should also say this as well, considering he's not here. But I mean, he's been here for a lot of it, and he's still a very big part of the FMK in my eyes, at least, and because he's still involved with hosting it on the channel and talking to us about it and making sure we, he's still helping out with it somewhat. So I'd still say catch him on Twitch at Dalaran Quest. He streams some D&D stuff. He streams Baldur's Gate, from my understanding. I haven't quite been able to catch it because of the time zone difference, but he's a funny guy. And if you want more of him, and now that you can't catch him on the FMK anymore, I'd suggest you go there.
Yeah. Go check him out.
At the very least, not until fall, although not quite sure what's happening with that. So
we're playing it by
we'll figure out when we get to it. We'll it's a long 3 months there.
Oh yeah.
Either way, you people are stuck with me for the next 3 months, probably, unless anything drastic happens.
Probably your soul is locked here by the blood ritual now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
At least the shows are good.
Exactly. You're locked out. But do we have any other points we can bring up? I'm unsure what our talking points and schedule is now that we're finished with the shows. We finished quite quickly compared to what we usually did.
I mean, plug your shit, man.
Yeah, sure. I don't have much shit to plug. I'm not really active on the internet a lot, but you can find me at that_Viking on Twitter, where I post memes, random shit posts, and mostly possums. don't do much else though. So I don't know. Maybe I'll start streaming again at some point, but I'm kind of busy as is.
Yeah, you can find me in your mother's bedroom or at soul_king777 on Twitter, where you can see a lot of porn being retweeted. That's basically it.
Hey, and
if you have a Twitter, promote it. Promote your own Twitch channel. If you have a YouTube channel,
us. What? Okay. But yeah, well, you can find me here on this Twitch channel where I'm gonna get back to streaming Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines at some point. I'm gonna make a video about that later and put it on YouTube. But as of right now, you can find me on Twitter at limit646. I mean, at channel646. Where I'm retweeting stuff about the King of the Hill characters, trying to describe the Kingdom Hearts lore. So yeah.
sorry, what?
Yeah, it's a great I'm gonna send it to you. It's the King of the Hills. It's titled Kingdom Hills, so it keeps fucking with my brain. Here, I'll send it to you.
Perfect, thank you.
But yeah, that's about it. I do a bunch of stuff. It's in a card below. Click on it. Look at all my stuff. Follow me.
I gotta put up the schedule for week 2 and make the poster for Peach Boy's death. So I will be doing that for the next 10ish minutes.
Something else I'm gonna say for everyone who is gonna watch tomorrow. I mean, watch next week. Come in a bit early. I might have something special for the start of it.
Ooh.
I'm gonna put my talents in video editing to good use.
Suspenseful. Wow, I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
But with that, I think this stream, or because we plugged our stuff, so it's time to say goodbye. I had a great time talking to you guys, and I hope everyone had a great time watching it. And Lewis, for your first time here, I know you did one with a trial one with me a while back, but you were a great conversation partner. It was great fun.
Sweet, thanks. Yeah, it was fun. I'm excited to do like another 12 or so of these, however long the season goes.
Well, we're 13. I'm not sure what the episode count is on some of the shows.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But yeah. But with that, we're signing off. Bye, Twitch chat, and bye, whoever's watching on YouTube. I will catch you next week.
See ya.